Greetings and salutations, friends. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge, yet again. Where, I don't know anything about Idubbbz whatsoever, but we're gonna watch an Idubbbz video today.
I've never watched an Idubbbz video.
Me neither.
I'm mildly resentful that you're making me do this.
I mean, I too am proud of the fact that I've never watched this, but people wanted us to watch this and to comment, so here we are.
And the drama has just been overflowing today.
It has. The reaction to this has not been good.
No, they absolutely owned themselves, frankly.
Yes, 214,000 dislikes, 241,000 likes. That's not nightmarish, but...
Well, that's pretty bad, though.
Yeah, here's the thing. On a YouTube video for YouTubers, where we basically all create our little own cults of personality, dislikes beyond, 95% positive, alarms should be ringing.
Highly unusual.
Yes.
Highly unusual. And as I understand it, like I said, I don't watch any of these guys, but this is basically a story of betrayed friendships, as I understand it, and for some reason Hasan, Idubbbz, and some other no-names are attacking Ethan for not being cool leftists like they are, because Ethan doesn't want Israel destroyed, which is not surprising since he's Jewish, and so, you can see where the rift would come in. And I think what this ultimately is, they're trying to, mean girl him into, being like, hi, you're not part of our cool club. But the thing is, they ended up making themselves look like spurgy children.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see here. See if I can find... oh, yeah, here we go. I'm not entirely sure if... this right here adequately represents the definition of the cool kids club.
Yeah, they really thought they were dunking on him with this, and it's just like, oh, okay, idiots. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I largely agree. It's so brutally cringe, it feels like AI. It kind of does.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
All the way up till Frogan, her fat self over there, barely managing to lift her legs as she tries to do this.
See, I don't know who the no-names other than Hasan and Idubbbz and Ethan are.
I know Frogan because she was the one who was like, yes, I hope all American soldiers get PTSD, and she was...
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she was banned from Twitch for 24 hours, which is, what happens over there when you're a leftist.
This is the compassionate.
Yep.
Form of politics, Arch. I mean, Hasan has wished death on literal death in assassinations on senators, and he got a 24-hour ban. So,
Oh yeah, Hasan, America deserved 9/11 Piker.
Oh yeah, kill this Senator Piker. It's just okay, Hasan.
Yep.
We're not all living the little charmed leftist life that you are, because I certainly couldn't call for that.
He says shit on the daily that would get most of us arrested.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah, and not let alone banned from every platform that exists.
It must be nice. It must be nice.
Well, this is what privilege looks like.
Also, as an indirect dig, both at Hasan's people and at what we're going to have to watch today, I loved this thing. So, this here, a system that cleans trash out of rivers in India, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just came to think, this is literally first world solutions for third world problems.
Yeah, weirdly, we don't actually need that over here in England. I can't imagine you do in Norway, right?
This is not a problem we have. It simply does not exist.
Not a problem we had to solve.
For most of us, the very thought of just tossing a piece of plastic or a bottle into a fucking river is just abhorrent.
Yeah, it's gross.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't need to explain why you don't do that. We don't need to explain the climate. We don't need to explain that we have to clean it up with complex barriers down water. It's like, no, you don't. You don't do that, bro. Yeah.
If you don't throw the bottles in the river, the quality of the environment in which you live doesn't go down.
And yet, look at the quantity. it's still steaming downriver. It's, you can see in the shot, like, it's just a stream. They need a digger to haul the multiple trucks.
It's just crazy how little people can care for their environment. I like, it genuinely amazes me on an individual level. You know?
It's like, what was that saying? White people don't season their rivers. Correct.
Yeah, well, we don't know. It's true. It's absolutely true. Like, our rivers are pretty clean, mostly anyway.
This system
By
cleans
comparison, I mean, Jesus.
millions of pounds of trash from river. Imagine needing a system that cleans millions of pounds of trash from rivers.
Yeah. Wow, that's a crazy third world problem you have there.
But here in the first world, we have trash of our own to deal with. So, without further ado, Content Cop H3 by Idubbbz TV.
It's like, just before we begin, I've never watched the Content Cop, but as I understand it, this is Idubbbz, like, you know, like sitting someone down and saying, "Look, you're shit. Stop being shit." Am I correct? Chat, let me know if I'm correct.
Hey, listen, it's the blind leading the blind today, man. I don't know shit about this either.
Go on, then.
Also, I remember the days when people used to put TV in their names because TV was a thing back then.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah, he's still got Idubbbz TV.
Yeah. The television. That was a thing we used to have in our living rooms.
Yeah, exactly. You can see how long Idubbbz has been doing this.
I remember this ancient device.
People in the chat, content cuck. It's like, it really is. So, I mean, should we preface this from what we know about Idubbbz?
Oh, God. Well, my knowledge can be summed up as some tard that used to be spicy.
Yeah, this is the osmosis, the information by osmosis that I've got from the internet too. So as I understand it, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, Idubbbz, quote, used to be funny, right? And he used to make spicy jokes, and then he grew up and realized, oh no, I've been wounding marginalized communities with my jokes. And he became woke, got a woke girlfriend who turned out to be an e-prostitute, who sells herself on OnlyFans for God knows how much money, and he has to publicly be a cuckold with this, and he regularly breaks down crying in public because his self-esteem has been absolutely shattered, and basically he needs to fucking log off. Am I wrong, chat?
I mean, it sounds like it, and he's been on the internet for a while. I like his channel tags are Kickstarter, crap, bad, unboxing, and complaints.
Yeah. But basically, to ameliorate the guilt of having made funny jokes in the past, he went woke. And that's great. That puts him in good company with Hasan Piker and various other heel leftists that no one wants to spend any time with.
Sounds like we're in for quite the ride. It's the eccentric Ripper's birthday today.
And Andrews is like, yeah, Sargon gets it. Good.
And he says that he demands Arch and Sargon sing happy birthday to me.
We can, but I can't sing.
Yeah, me neither. Literally. Like, my singing is illegal. I'm pretty sure it's weaponized.
Yes, same.
It's beyond tone deaf, so we'll spare you that. But happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday anyway.
Right. A goddamn hour. Let me just 25x speed at least.
Destination, the beach is surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
Can you turn up a bit? Or is it?
Defense, like,
Better?
actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too...
That's a
Okay, just
charming
pause.
intro.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this really how you present yourself to the world? I am a fucking loser who sits there in a stained vest on his couch looking at his phone all day.
Scratching my belly.
Yeah, okay, what a model of a man. Carry on, Idubbbz. I can see why your wife likes you.
it's too far, because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
What we do here is go back.
And suddenly it got very loud.
Yeah, but that's fine. So right, so him watching Ethan complain about left-wing harassment on the internet has encouraged him to bring Content Cop back out of retirement, I guess is what we're being told here.
I mean, what's the contention here? Are we going to argue that the left wing doesn't harass people doesn't harass people, not online, but just in general?
Yeah, no, oh, that'd be silly. How could the left do such a thing?
Yeah, no. Now, I know that Idubbbz hasn't really been in on the political side of things, but I think this is actually what defined the left for the last, 20 years?
Yeah, it's how we knew that they were left-wing.
Why? No, I'm not going to ask any questions. Fuck it, I don't know what.
You don't need the answers.
Yeah, I don't need the answer. I don't want the answer. Is Idubbbz Scandinavian?
I don't know. Why are you feeling ashamed by proxy?
No, but I'm watching the cabin, I'm watching the dumbass outside lawn chairs, and I'm like, I've seen this before.
I'm sure he's American.
He's got to be from Minnesota or something. That looks like what we Norwegians view as our hillbillies. Our hillbillies live like that.
Yeah, I believe it.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan Broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's Content Nuke, and I'm not...
Ah, yes. He was studiously avoiding that for like a month or two.
Yeah, but that's only because it literally made Hasan look like a terrorist sympathizer. In fact, at the time, I remember posting about the time going, like if half of what Ethan is saying is true, Hasan wouldn't be free in Britain. He'd be in jail.
I mean, if half of the things he was saying was true, I'm fairly sure that America has a little thing called the Patriot Act or something.
Yeah.
But well, the privileged few, I guess.
Yeah. But
he needed to let it slip from the public consciousness enough to the point where he could lie about it, I guess.
Yeah, because if I recall correctly, there really were a bunch of things in there that were completely damning, like constant terrorism advocacy.
Yeah, no, like H3 spent a good 20 minutes just playing clips of Hasan watching Hamas propaganda videos.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah. And interviewing the Houthi terrorists and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's no allegation being made here. There's just...
No, here's Hasan in his own words. He seems to be kind of pro-terrorism.
Yeah.
And Hasan's like, yeah, I'm pro-terrorism.
Yeah, so I look forward to his spirited defense of Hamas, I suppose.
I'm not going to call it context puke, as I normally do, because the reality of the matter is, it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a...
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No.
Many a truth said in jest, Hasan.
I mean, the very fact that your only defense appears to be, I did all of it, but in an ironic voice. It's like,
Yeah, you literally said that America deserved 9/11, Hasan.
Yes.
You literally interview terrorists on your stream. You literally play Hamas terrorist propaganda on your stream. Yeah, you literally say, I am a communist. Yes, you are all of the things you're claiming that it's silly to call you. You are all of those things.
Yes. And the only reason you remain held, not even on Twitch, but free at this point, is because of your incredible bubble of privilege.
It's just California is a communist state.
Imagine the reverse. Imagine sitting there claiming proudly and boldly that you were a fascist.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Oh, well.
Vicious anti-Semite. It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive.
Oh, that was the thing, too. The reason why Ethan and Hasan broke up from the leftovers was literally because Hasan kept saying shit that Ethan considered to be deeply anti-Semitic.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hasan wants Israel destroyed, and Ethan is Jewish. And Hasan kept encouraging his chat to, chant for it or whatever. And it was starting to make Ethan go a bit mental because, like, that can drive you crazy, right? So, like, I mean, come on, Hasan. Like, what's the defense?
Yeah, that's a bit weird here. Ethan's sitting there like, my friend is chanting death to Israel, death to Israel. What?
Yeah, I mean, there was one
do?
bit where he nearly had Ethan in tears.
It's a strange friendship on the left.
Oh, yeah.
Active than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about
Mentally, at the very least.
everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was right about that too. How did he know everything? How?
All right, Specky, calm down.
And again, this isn't... Okay, I wonder if we're actually ever going to debate any of the points he made, or if it's just going to be like, oh no, he's just silly.
Yeah.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan. Join the terrorist supporting side.
Oh my god, are we going to start dancing already?
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Right, so they're not going to refute any of the
What the-
points. They're not going to refute anything. What they're going to say is something along the lines of, Ethan, come and join our cool kids club again where we hate the Jews and want Palestine to destroy Israel. That's all they're doing here, right?
I don't even know what they're doing right now.
Fire is the answer.
Well, I mean, there is that too.
I mean, this... Okay, listen. I've always been an elitist asshole, okay? I'm not denying it.
That's why I like you.
My sense of humor has always been a pretentious, highbrow shit, okay? I never watched this style of content, but this immediately reminds me of what my cousin's children watches, or like children's YouTube stuff.
What do you think their audience is like?
Well, judging by the dislikes, at least half of them are adults.
Well, yeah. Well, there we go. Half of them are adults. Incredible.
Krieger, as well incredible, comes in with the $50 donor. Thank you very much, sir. Because I wasn't able to last time, Arch, ask Sargon what he thinks of the Monster Girl Encyclopedia.
I don't know anything about it.
It's an encyclopedia of girls that are half monsters, half women.
Okay. I have no further thoughts on the issue.
Really? I would have at least expected a condemnation.
I'm just trying to pretend it doesn't exist.
Very well.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up. Wake up. Zooms anyone?
What? Zins?
Get woke, Ethan.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
What the fuck? Okay,
That's the clip.
the
there's the clip.
dance.
I'm listening. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not going to do...
I really wonder why Hasan agreed to this.
He looks dead-eyed, too.
Yeah, but he always does. Hasan hates his job and he hates his audience. Hasan absolutely loathes his own audience. And he loathes the fact that he has to talk about the news every day. But the thing is, it's what's made him famous, and he has no other talents. So he has no choice but to stream for like 8 hours fucking straight every day.
So, there's a bunch of people in a room doing some kind of Fortnite dance, I presume.
I think so, yeah.
Doing the L.
On their foreheads, while dancing this stupid jig behind Hasan Piker, who looks like he wants to die. And this is them owning Ethan Klein.
I mean, this would have been embarrassing in 5th grade.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking childish.
Can I smell your feet?
Right. Very well. Proceed.
Do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's talking about
Ooh, yummy. I love saffron buns.
Who are these losers?
Well, the fat Muslim one is Frogan. She's the one who said that all American soldiers should have PTSD.
But who are the rest of them?
This guy, I haven't a clue.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Like the absolute nobodies that they roped into this.
Hassan's colored friend, I guess, for representation?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it looks kind of like diversity hires, right?
I think the e-thought is, Dev told me about this chick at some point.
Right.
Dennis?
Okay, maybe.
Something like that. Apparently she's a terrible person, but luckily
Oh,
I've managed
No
to
kidding.
not look into that person either.
I mean, I had guessed that, but okay, yeah.
Denims, says chat.
Denims.
Okay. Lovely.
Wake up, Ethan.
All I know is that she dresses like people I've seen late at night in the more lugubrious neighborhoods of Berlin.
Heresy is the question.
Oh, good. It's going to be one of those videos.
You don't have fucking premium.
I don't, but I think I'm going to have to get it now.
Honestly, it's worth it. I hate the adverts so much.
3 minutes in. Alright, we'll see. We might need to switch this over to the Brave browser at this rate.
The manlet. like some sort of heroin addict unable to rip the buttons on his own shirt.
Right. I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3, content cop, Idubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hasan Piker. Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not.
Wow.
So this is incredible, right? So first things first, that is what everyone is saying, that he's lost the plot, right? I don't know. I've never followed his work. You know, I'm surprised he knows who I am. But secondly, I would love for him to watch some of my stuff. Come and content cop my content, Idubbbz. I genuinely don't think you'll understand it.
I don't believe he'd be able to parse it. I think it would be the video of him, well, flossing again in the hopes that that'll be perceived as a burn.
Amazing.
But hey, at least he's cognizant of his own fall from grace, I suppose. That's something.
Well, I don't think he is. I think that he thinks Ethan is the one who's fallen from grace, and he's the normal person who's hanging out with the communists and terrorist sympathizers, like a normal person does.
Like a normal person does.
Not me losing the plot. It's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
Well, you're prophetic, it turns out.
I know. How did I know?
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes...
Sorry, did you say something?
No kidding. Podcast after podcast after everything's a podcast. I run a podcast. You run 2 podcasts.
I do.
Like, we're literally on a podcast right now. It's nothing but podcasts from here on out, Idubbbz. Go on. Tell us something we didn't know.
It's what YouTube wants. Also, chat, like the podcast, or else.
Subscribe to the podcast, or else. There will be a dearth of podcasts in your life.
Yes. The podcast is your friend. Trust the podcast.
Yes. There's the only thing worth trusting is the podcast. Abandon your... No. I don't want the clip of that outright, even if it's in jest, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want someone to take it out of context.
Well, that got dark real quick.
Sometimes it's fucked
Give
up.
all your money to the podcast.
He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hasan Piker. In doing so...
At least he acknowledges Hasan's controversial.
I mean, yes, and may I just reiterate as well, any man who polishes his nails, it's not a man. I'm sorry.
Not allowed to say what he is on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a 3-letter word.
It's not a thing.
And in Britain, we smoke it.
Sometimes we bundle sticks.
Yep.
He's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hasan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface-level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling
That is one interpretation, definitely. Make fun of themselves is what I would argue, but yes.
I mean, looking at Ethan right now.
Heresy is the question. Fire is the answer.
Make America great again, enormous Texas hat.
Yeah.
See, this is the problem with left-wingers attempting to satirize right-wingers. They have no idea what their complaints actually are, and so all they've got is an exaggerated caricature of the thing.
Also, yeah, that sounds based. Give me MAGA 10-gallon hats.
Tell me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hasan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
What?
Death to Israel?
Yeah, literally, that was his position. That's been his position for years.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this.
Ethan's like, I'm Jewish, Hasan. I can't agree to that. And Hasan's like, oh, you cuck. You capitalist cuck. And Ethan's like, bro, I'm a liberal, not a communist. And Hasan's like, yeah, death to Israel and death to America.
Yeah, that's the problem. I turn out to be a communist. I hate liberals.
Exactly. So the thing is, John Peterson warned him. John Peterson was like, they're going to come for you, Ethan. They're going to be like, yeah, so communism, you're like, I can't go that far. And then they'll lynch you. And the prophecy came true.
And just a mapping for another 50. Thank you. Hasan Piker has to be, if not the worst person, to be a leader in any capacity of or for any movement in history.
No, I think Hasan Piker is the perfect embodiment of millennial communism. He is a rich kid, the son of a rich kid, who got popular by just being a stupid person on the internet saying ridiculous things. He's perfect for it.
Yes. Hasan Piker has had everything handed to him on a silver platter his entire existence. And now
he's still angry
to explain to you that you should give away your things. From his $4 million mansion.
No, Arch. It was only $3 million.
Oh, sorry.
And the supercar that he drives around. While absolutely despising his own audience. He literally calls it daycare.
Also, again, Hasan Piker's position was literally, no, Israel is evil and should disappear. And
yeah,
Ethan's, God, he looks not good, does he?
Yeah.
Boy.
I mean, he's lost a lot of weight recently, and he does look a lot better.
He does.
Than he used to. He became really fucking fat at one point. Don't know how he lost all the weight, but he's looking a lot more healthy now.
That's what happens when you leave leftism, I guess.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only...
Well, I would happily argue that they are subjected to horrific living conditions by Hamas, who rules over them, but details.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, that's Nancy invented with that. Okay.
Hang on a second. Sorry, it's just my son bursting in saying, hey, Dad. It's like, okay, hi, son. Good to see you.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
It's just eating the toppings. The pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I don't know if you can...
Okay, so yes, Hasan has been talking about this for a lot longer than Ethan. I agree.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was hardly a contentious point.
make that joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn victims.
I think it's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine, you know? We don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them.
I think this is
any
also...
reason?
You know, this is actually kind of a good point because, yeah, no, Ethan is sitting there. I'm an Israeli. My wife is Israeli. I obviously have a connection to Israel, and I am the goofball. And here's my friend going, "Your people should die.
Your country should be disestablished.
How?
Just let Hamas take over Israel, bro. Nothing bad will happen." It's like, right.
Yeah, I imagine his immediate reaction to that is just having his blood rushing through his head and going like, how is he serious?
Yeah. No, I actually did watch a little bit of the Leftovers podcast, the bit that was Ethan learning in real time just how phenomenally monstrous Hasan was. Hilarious. Genuinely hilarious.
Yeah, because I imagine he'd be sitting there just trying to parse this piece of information for a while.
Well, he couldn't believe Hasan was serious at first.
His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. I
want to point out, too, everyone serves in the Israeli Defense Force. That's literally required by law. So,
yeah.
On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow...
Fire is the answer.
Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far, but...
They're very politically engaged in a cult.
Yeah, they're very politically indoctrinated, I will agree.
Yeah.
Savvy, but...
Hasan is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they...
Again, I feel like we're abusing the definition of politics here, but...
No. We can fairly call Hasan a strictly political streamer. That's totally true. His entire online presence is, I'm a communist, when he's not being the professor. So, you know, like, yeah, that's all fair as a characterization. And the thing is, when they began their podcast, I remember people like, Ethan, do you know anything about Hasan Piker?
Yeah, he even mentioned that in his content nuke, where he's like, he genuinely thought that Hasan was the shell that they used to push themselves, a social democrat.
Yeah. And everyone did say to him, Ethan, he's mental.
Yep. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you're the sheep.
And honestly, that's giving Hasan too much credit. He's just stupid, so he's a communist.
Heresy is the question.
They are very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're going to call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
That's not propaganda, that's true.
Yeah, no, that's not inaccurate or propaganda or hyperbole. It means from the river to the sea. It means Palestine will take over all of Israeli territory and wipe Israel off the map.
They are completely explicit about this.
Yeah, this is not subtle.
Yeah. It's not coded message or anything.
No, I mean the South African song "We're Gonna Kill the White Farmers" is more subtle than this.
Yeah, well, they're about the same level, really.
I mean, at least that one is a song. You know, they can argue creative context. This is just a slogan. You know,
this is what they chant at the rallies where they're yelling "Death to Israel."
Yes.
Yeah.
So this massive progressive audience that Ethan has, adopted over the years.
That hates Jews. Just loathes them. Just fucking loathes them.
Yeah, that was a miscalculation, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, mistakes were made, weren't they, Ethan?
I, as a Jewish person, has courted a primarily socialist audience. Let's see how this goes.
For some reason, my audience is primarily anti-Semitic. Not sure what I'm doing. And I just want to say, I don't have like a massive bugbear about anti-Semitism or racism or anything like that. It's just really funny that that's the position they found themselves in.
They're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers. He's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see it.
Can we just point out as well that Idubbbz looks fucking sick, man. Like, he looks unwell, doesn't he? Can we scroll back just a little bit? Like, this is not a man who looks healthy, is it?
Not enormously so, no.
He looks like someone who's got some sort of disease. And it's like, okay, bro, just log the fuck off. Go and have a burger. Get some sunshine.
Well, amusingly, I think we're going to now see the exact same thing. Because, yes, Ethan Klein got more political because he started to realize just how many people out there really wanted to not see him exist.
Yeah.
And then obviously...
weirdly, so many of them watched his streams.
Yeah, so he started arguing with them. And this is probably what Idubbbz is now going to start doing, arguing with his audience.
Mm.
Yeah, when you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it, like it's some super racist, like crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back and forth with his liberal audience, leftist people online, progressive content creators, Hasan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking... And I'll say it, and I'll double...
So it was Denims, okay. Evil, hateful.
down on it. And people, no, not go there.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hasan's
Okay, so this is a personal vendetta, then.
Yeah, see, I told you, it's just them trying to get at Ethan on a personal level, right? But the thing is, they just made themselves look like fucking clowns.
Yeah, I mean, your point here is basically that Ethan ventured into a political arena that he was poorly prepared for.
Cool.
Idubbbz.
I agree that he did.
What are you doing right now, Idubbbz?
Yes. There are other people making that precise mistake right this second.
You ignorant slut.
Strange how that works out.
The thing is, I don't hate Idubbbz like that. I feel bad for him, right? I think the people around him, like if you were Idubbbz' friend, you'd be like, you have to stop your wife from being an e-whore. It is shaming and humiliating you, and everyone laughs at you for it. You must stop this. You know, that would be what an actual friend would say to Idubbbz.
falling out. I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
I'm sorry, Ethan. You're going to have to go to the re-education camp.
Yeah.
You have developed a line of thinking that is incompatible with friendship with my kind. Okay.
My God. But I mean, that's literally what he's saying here.
Well, yeah, it is. As well, like, because again, Idubbbz has not exactly demonstrated a heightened level of political competency himself either at the moment. Not even realizing that, yeah, no, from the river to the sea, that's Palestine going. Yeah, we're not gonna let you live anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan is not misrepresenting this.
So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like Idubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like the stupid.
God, he is gonna pocket. Never mind. Fuck this. We're just gonna use the downloaded version, so as to avoid an ad every 3 minutes.
Why weren't we doing that from the start?
Well, because I wanted to have it in 1080p, but
keeping to myself mostly. I don't
didn't
have
know he was so
many
greedy.
nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like Idubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like the sweet.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think Ethan Klein would do well against Hasan in boxing.
Well, Hasan seems to be a giant fucking pussy, actually, so...
Well, he's fit, at least.
He's fit, but have you ever seen him do his boxing practice?
I have not. Is it embarrassing?
Oh my God, yeah. Like, he seems so delicate for a man of his size. Like, he seems genuinely like a giant pussy. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. I know. Like, seriously, Google it, chat. Find us some fucking links of Hasan Piker throwing punches and kicks. It's cringe. It's like, oh my god, Hasan. Like, my 10-year-old punches harder than you do.
Let's see.
He's so effete. It's so weird.
Hasan Piker boxing. Google's not giving me anything right off the bat.
Oh, I'll see if I can find something in.
Oh. That was very loud. Here. Done.
There we go. Look at these. He's not hitting the fucking thing. Like, he's pretending to punch. You see what I mean? Look at it.
Yeah. Like,
this is the softest.
He's not putting any weight in it. He's pulling back just as he hits.
Right? Like, he's not connecting with the fucking thing. It's like, why would you put this on the internet? This looks terrible.
That is not good. No, I mean, and again, look at him. He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's a poser. And then there's another one of Hasan Piker kicking. Like, find that. That is, it's just like my son kicks way harder than this.
Let's see.
You ignorant
YouTube.
slut.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, this is the one. You put the sound on?
Oh God, what happened? That's what happened. Fucking watch out, dude.
Okay, yeah, that is not good.
The guy he's not feeling any force on the receiving of the kick at all.
Yeah, no,
like,
this
he kicks
is
and punches like a fucking girl.
This is dancing, not kicking.
Yeah, why would you put this stuff on the internet? Like, this makes you look like an effeminate little wuss. And it's like, no wonder he was like, I'm not fighting Sam Hyde. Like, no fucking wonder.
I have lost.
Oh, I now know more about Hasan Piker's fighting style than I wanted.
But notice how, like, fragile he looks, right? He's got this kind of wimpy demeanor to him.
Well, he's not putting any force behind it, like, because he's only kicking with his leg, okay?
Yeah, yeah. And punching with his like, arm.
Yeah, with the arm instead of the body.
Yeah. It's so weird. And, like, I do, like, boxing and stuff with my kid. And, like, you know, he fucking thunders compared to Hasan. And I'm like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, you don't kick like that. You don't kick with the leg. You kick with the hips and your arm. You pivot to get force into it.
Same with punching. Same with punching.
Absolutely. This is little known arch lore. I was a blue belt with red stripe in Taekwondo as a child, as a kid. Well, as a
Service guarantee.
I don't know, kid. I was 18 at the time, but you know, comparatively. Yeah. So I know a little bit about this, and that is not how you do this.
Isn't it crazy how bad Hasan is at this? But anyway, yeah, so I don't know, man. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Ethan will definitely lose to Hasan. I mean, I'm not saying Ethan's like a boxer or a fighter or anything, but like Hasan he looks like a really soft target.
He does. I wonder if he's ever gotten punched before.
Probably not. I bet he's never taken a punch.
Because that's when you know how you'll do in a fight. The first time you get punched. Because there are several reactions. Some people freak out. Other people just go fucking crazy. That's me. And other people can be completely calm. That's the good kind.
Yeah, I reckon that Hasan starts crying.
Maybe this boxing match isn't such a bad idea after all.
Right? I bet Ethan would acquit himself better than people would think.
Wait, stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. And also...
Well, to be fair, yes.
Yeah, but you should have known that before you did a podcast with him.
It's like, no, bro, we can't get over this by just punching each other. He wants to eradicate my people. Okay, yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
So he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there. I used
Gross.
Thanks, I guess.
Could have done another take on that, Idubbbz.
to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online.
Chronic virtue signaler, politicized yapper, funky fresh beats enjoyer.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That
Sounds like the sort of guy you want around.
Definitely.
And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not going to endorse it, I'm not going to retweet it or like it.
Do you really think putting yourself, your crew, and your audience in a semantic competition over a petty year-old I'm right, you're wrong session kind of get over, is this the right strategy? What? Is this the content nuke?
I guess it was part of the argument between Hasan and Ethan.
But fair enough.
I guess I just missed, my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered, colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th.
God knows.
Of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word.
How terrible.
Okay.
He said they're
I mean,
trying
that doesn't
to...
seem like I've not watched a lot of their podcasts, but Hila doesn't seem evil. I mean, maybe she is. I don't fucking know. But I've not seen anything of her going around where she's being particularly vindictive or anything.
Also, Palestinians don't learn to hate Jews at 2 years old. I don't.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know about that.
They absolutely do. Like all kids programming, they've got a Mickey Mouse fucking facsimile that is literally death to the Jews. Like they literally do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture now because I remember they were doing like a school play where they were playing Palestinians defeating the evil Jews.
Well, there's a Mickey Mouse cartoon that's obviously not Mickey Mouse on Palestinian TV, which is just literally Mickey Mouse teaching them death to the Jews. Like Memory TV translated it. It's like fucking hell.
Google is not cooperating at the moment. Oh, no, there we go. Right. Yeah, so this...
yeah. Who's playing the Israeli soldier here?
This was a whole play where the brave Hamas fighters, played here by kindergartners, defeat the evil Israelis who are going in to kill the women and children.
Yes.
That is correct. They also have, this one is supposed to depict a young Palestinian girl attacking Israeli soldiers with a knife. This comes from the Palestine Festival for Children and Education.
Here's the show. I'll DM it to you. It's called Tomorrow's Pioneers. If you scroll down, you'll see some screenshots.
Oh, God. That looks mildly nightmarish.
Yeah, but about halfway down, there's a screenshot that's, and I, Assad, will finish off the Jews and eat them, Allah willing.
Jews and eat them, Allah willing.
Like, they literally do teach 2-year-olds to kill Jews. I mean, sorry. But again, I'm not like pro-Israel or Palestine. It's foreign conflict, nothing to do with me. But they're definitely doing this.
Yeah, I'd say there appears to be a little bit too much evidence suggesting that they do indeed teach them this.
Yeah, yes. I mean, they literally broadcast on fucking TV, so, you know.
Uncle Hazim. Response from Disney.
Yeah, I bet Disney's like, well...
Okay, yeah. That's imagine that landing on Bob Iger's desk one day. Bob, we've got a situation here in Palestine.
Imagine it landing on Walt Disney's desk.
Farafur the Mouse, co-host of the first season, mimicking an AK-47 being fired. Right.
I mean, it's genuinely comically evil. Like, it's genuinely like, it's the sort of thing Family Guy would make up, right?
Yes. Behold, Mickey Mouse is going to teach you how to reload your AK, children. Pay attention now. So, yet again, I think they do indeed teach young children to hate the Jews, so...
Yeah, Ethan is not wrong when he points this out.
Kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that Idubbbz' former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very...
Twitter?
Wikipedia?
Very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with.
Well, the problem is, there's actually a fair bit of information on this on Twitter and on Wikipedia and everywhere else. Again, like, this shit ain't secret, bruh.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is here. The Israel-Palestine conflict is an extraordinarily complex one, with a lot of layers of morality on both sides, but there's way too many people, particularly on the left, who just sees Israel bad.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the issue also boils down to ethnic conflict, right? Yeah. So you're with one side because you're a Muslim, or you're with one side because you're a Jew, is what a lot of people end up falling on both sides on. And it's like, okay, well, I'm neither a Muslim nor a Jew, so I look at that kind of intransigent ethnic conflict where it's like histories of bloodbaths on both sides, and I say, not my fucking issue. Sorry, bro.
The answer.
Yeah. It's also the simple fact that from somebody who is from Israel, who knows the history from his perspective at least, it is very clear that the Palestinians aren't friends.
Sure, but like, you could make the argument on the other side in the same way from the Palestinians.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so, you know, it's clear that the Israelis have never been friends to them either. So, okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm not choosing sides in yet another interminable ethnic Middle Eastern conflict. I mean, that's all the Middle Eastern conflicts have ever been. So, you know, ethno-religious conflicts. So, you know, whatever. You know, it's the way you guys are. I accept it.
Has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit when there's no...
Because you were his friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay, let's let him carry on. I want to hear him make the case
being
proper.
put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place. If you
some tard,
you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an
Reddit.
account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges.
Yeah, but it's literally Hasan's audience encouraged by Hasan to do this. He did it on a fucking live stream, and it nearly did drive Ethan off the wall.
Yeah, and again, this shit appears to be true.
Yeah, there is also that.
Yeah, Ethan isn't being gaslit by some fantasy nonsense here or propaganda. He's being shown things that are real and going, this is horrific.
Yeah.
This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not
the reality being shown. Is Idubbbz' argument here is that Ethan should just shove his head in the dirt and sing la la la? I don't.
No, let's carry on.
Not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But
can we call it anti-Semitic?
Could we?
So his former editor was indeed bullying Ethan with anti-Semitic like comments, propaganda, insults, blah blah blah, right? Like that is what Idubbbz seems to be admitting here.
It does.
And Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Again, though, the problem is he is a terrorist supporter.
He literally does this.
Yeah, you're not calling each other names here.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the 2 podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like, she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't.
I mean, again, this just sounds like a relationship gone terribly wrong, basically.
Yep.
I don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty.
Okay.
For all you know, I might be doing that. I'm not going to say that I am doing that.
We had a skit of you dancing around a Fortnite dance doing the L symbol on your forehead a while ago. Are we assuming charitability?
Oh, yeah, maximum charitability.
And hey, if you weren't doing that, you could have just sent him a DM as your friend and go like, hey, dude, I wasn't doing this. I feel bad that he said this. I swear to God, people don't speak anymore.
No.
I'm just not going to throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not going to throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women
This isn't you throwing him away?
Yeah, well, what's the point of this hour-long video trashing him then?
Yeah.
Just out of interest.
This is a weird way of doing it.
fucked. Hasan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Hasan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what I'm... Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you've said and done. And I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want...
I think we're being very optimistic about the average leftist today.
And their moral standards.
To throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
And that was kind of happening. That was the argument from Leftovers, where he asked Hasan, like, hey, could you moderate your chat? There's people in there going like, die Jew. And like, I don't want like that.
Yeah.
Like,
and Hasan was like, no, bro.
Yeah. And again,
I actually agree with them, bro.
Are we going to argue here that the left doesn't harass people en masse?
Mental.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the...
Well, that's normal.
Yeah, I shrug. I'm glad I'm not a left-winger.
God, me too.
Number one type of harassment I got was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I probably done and stood by.
At least he admits he's woke.
Nice, I guess. And no, that's the thing. Taking your woke ideology to extreme. That is the definition of woke. That is the fundament of your entire belief. Further, comrade.
Yeah, I mean, you've literally got nothing else. Why you're hanging out with Hasan Piker?
More than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
But I'll...
What? Whoa! That's That's friendships are not transactional because they're reciprocal. Friendships are reciprocal because you care about the other person, even if they're wrong. Which is why I haven't made a content cop on depth.
I mean, yes.
But seriously, I mean that though. No, and I'm just joking. Dev's arguments are usually fairly good, just wrong.
Just wrong. I mean, God, that was honestly that was one of the fundaments of our friend group as well that held strong for so many years until a fucking retarded D&D disagreement that
I know
was so stupid and petty and dumb.
And the thing is, I really was just trying to save everyone's face as well.
Yeah, but
I really
you shouldn't do
was.
that. It's bad.
I know.
That's again, you are right to feel betrayed when somebody you think is a friend acts in, a discharitable manner towards you.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because you just be like, why are you doing this, bro?
Yeah, it's strange. It's not something you do if you're friends with someone.
Exactly.
I'll say this. I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any
Ethan
fucking...
is right. They're not his friends.
Yeah. They're not his friends.
Halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that.
Encouraged it.
Think
it's coming from my editor. What was your fucking argument here, bro?
To get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you?
I mean, sort of fair, I suppose.
But why weren't you being sympathetic to the fact that your friend was being gang harassed by a bunch of anti-Semites because he's a Jew? Who
knows?
You'd think, okay, if your friend is Jewish and another friend of yours is a Muslim, and this friend has gathered up 1 million leftists to call him anti-Semitic names online, you might be like, okay, I kind of have to side with the guy being abused.
You not say something when this is imagine one of you guys is Hasan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during
That's
the
not
stream...
the point he's making. He's not making up horrible stories about Hasan is what he's saying, you prat.
Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and...
Such a crazy fucking woman, my god. Hila Klein is very dangerous and a crooked woman. We have different definitions of critique, you and I.
I mean, that is definitely critical.
Ad hominem, I would argue.
Yeah, it's a form of critique, I guess.
Yeah, it's a form.
He is sometimes uncharitable and nasty.
Sometimes uncharitable.
That's fine. Just sometimes.
Adam McIntyre needs to just disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him the spawn of Satan.
Wow, he seems like a lovely guy.
Yeah, no, this but no, sorry, he's being a little uncharitable. It's fine.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that.
Oh yeah, the on your side thing, that was a mistake.
I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her kid a spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
And
like
I was
that.
supposed to be cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do you forget that he?
That's what I mean. Hila doesn't seem like a terrible person or anything. I mean, chat, if she's done something I don't know about, fair enough. I don't follow these guys really closely or anything. But like, this is the general sort of response I've seen from Hila on most things.
And he's putting a little halo over her head. Like, she's like, I'm a really good person. For like, okay, I didn't point out that you were being horrible, even though I thought you were horrible, because that's what we are. We're friends, so I'm not going to point out you being horrible in this case, I guess.
I didn't support you abusing a child.
Yeah, I didn't outright support you.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn
Never.
of Satan.
It's disgusting.
And I
Piece
mean,
of shit of a human.
it's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think Ethan and Hila are bang on here, I'm afraid. Idubbbz, and you're a cuckold.
they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statement.
What? I thought I thought calling it abhorrent was disagreement.
It's about Trish's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like,
yeah, because they were on their side, and so they were like, I'm not going to call out this abusive thing. Now there's 3 years later, and these people have disassociated. I'm going to say what I thought about them.
Yeah, but also, like, you know, they must have been at the time been like, yeah, guys, a lot of our friends are real fucking human trash.
Yeah, this has been brewing for a while.
Like, you know, V was never doing stuff like this, you know what I mean?
I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time, and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time, and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it, and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible
Is it?
Sure, okay, I mean, I'm happy to concede that, yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't seem like a sustained campaign of hate that's been ginned up by Hasan Piker. Like, it seems to be an offhand comment that someone was making that was gross. But okay, yeah, fine. It's vaguely in the same ballpark.
being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry.
I have no idea who these people are now.
No, I don't know the drama.
Angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa are spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the bus. Like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because like, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been
on... What does that mean?
I'm not sure. I'm completely lost right now. Some kind of intergroup drama.
Don't worry, she's half Lebanese, half Irish.
A lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've...
Hold on. Who were genociding the Lebanese?
Yeah. What happened in Lebanon?
Yeah, I was on there for a second.
Do tell. What happened? It sounds terrible.
I think I've heard
Who
this
was
story
responsible for this? It's not the same people who did anything on October the 7th, is it?
No. That's weird. You know, she did indeed suffer through some of that.
Received a lot of oppression.
Weirdly finds herself on Hassan's side.
From the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now out of all the time.
Oh, is he saying that Israel is responsible for some sort of Lebanese genocide?
I suppose so.
That's kind of what he's implying there, right?
I mean,
so it's not anyone else. It's not anyone else.
Yeah, because my history on this particular area is a bit sketchy, but I seem to remember the Palestinians taking over a slice of Lebanon, and then the IDF had to go in there and clear them out after they kept bombing them.
They did the same in Jordan as well. And in Egypt, actually. I looked this up the other day. So literally everywhere they've gone, they've created a terror state and tried to overthrow the government.
Yes, the reason why the Egypt-Palestine border looks like fucking Fort Knox is because the Egyptians have been paying attention to what happens whenever the Palestinians get into a new country.
But so did the Jordanians. They had to send in the army and kick out the PLO from there. And they took over Lebanon by migrant displacement. So I looked into this. Lebanon had a kind of an ethnically split representative democracy. Right? It's kind of alien to people in the West who come from homogenous countries. But they had a bunch of government positions that were reserved for certain ethnicities, right, to preserve a balance. And so you'd have so many Christians doing X, so many Muslims doing Y, so many Druze doing Z, blah, 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 so many Jews doing, Alpha, whatever it is. And the Palestinian migrants, refugees, swamped Lebanon, totally threw over the balance, and then made the country descend into civil war as they started taking things over.
Sounds like nice people.
Oh, yeah, you're so glad they've arrived. Thank God the Palestinians are here, say everyone in the Middle East, I tell you.
Times to be like, please defend me. No, we're not going to fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Yep. Well, Israelis, but yeah.
Yeah, no, not Israelis, right? They're taught to kill Jews, right? The BBC translates all of this stuff. When it reports on it, and translates it into Israelis, but the actual literal translation is Jews.
Yeah, no, there's this weird thing, but Muslims are not very fond of Jews.
That's weird, isn't it? I've noticed that.
Indeed. See, the entire state of Israel is a funny thing, because the British were like, hey, the Jews have been prosecuted in Europe. We're going to make a little homeland for them. Oh, we've got this piece right here. Carve. There you go. You can live here. And there's a lot of indication that maybe the English at the time thought that the Muslims would take care of their problem for them.
Probably.
And the Muslims
I love the idea of
tried.
the sort of like well-meaning English colonialists are just like, well, that'll fix the problem, won't it? Well. See, what we thought, and I swear to God this is going to be true, that people wanted to have problems solved. That's what we thought.
But no.
No, I don't think they do.
So they carved out a little new state for them, and I think like a year later, the Arab powers invaded with the express intent to wipe them off the map.
Yeah. If it helps, the sort of the first Jews who went from Britain and the Empire to there were also terrorists, just FYI, and also killed lots of British people. So, I'm not saying that anyone's blameless on either side or anything.
Yeah. But the Israelis fought back surprisingly well and won. And after that, they have established themselves as one hell of a military power in the region.
Well, they are the military power of the region because the Arabs are terrible at war.
Yeah, they're just shit at it. They're genuinely shit at it.
Yeah, and did I tell you about the paper that was written in the 90s by some British lieutenant who was talking about it? He was just like, look, they don't ever take responsibility. Right? If something goes wrong, the commander will just throw it down the chain instead of it being passed up the chain. Because obviously, normally in a military, if there's a major setback, the person of highest rank who is in charge of the operation takes the blame. You're the reason. And that's normal. That's completely as you would expect. But in the Arab militaries, it goes the other way. They just keep kicking it down the rank until someone can't kick it any lower than themselves. And what does that do to morale amongst the lower orders? Ah, shit, man. We're all about to get blamed and fucking fired out of a cannon into the fucking Red Sea or something. Like, time to just skedaddle. And it destroys the morale of Arab armies. And it makes them completely inefficient fighting forces.
They also just have no capability. Like, the problem is as well, during the Yom Kippur War, they planned out a very complex attack on the Israeli forces who held the other bank of the the Suez thing, yeah. And they managed to pull it off after years of planning, very careful coordination, a lot of exercise. They pulled that off. The moment they tried to push further, everything collapsed, because without months of planning, months of briefing, months of coordination, they are utterly incapable of small unit tactics. They don't have initiative, they don't have the individual skill, and they don't have the bravery to conduct individual operations because they're afraid they'll get shot.
They don't trust each other. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be back in a second. Do you want to do some super chats or something? Back in a second.
Yep. This was a weakness of the Soviets as well, chat.
You ignorant slut.
Selection Doppelganger, my spine just cringed out of my body. That's unfortunate. Sandoom, Hasan and those guys behind him look losers. Stindus, if we keep importing the third word, we will need these barriers sooner or later. Oh, yeah, unironically, yes. Last Russian, 95% of the ocean plastics come from only 10 rivers. Let me guess, they're in Asia and India. Next anyone, if growing up is like being Idubbbz, I'm a staying kid, I think. Texas Apache, my wife thanks you for no dev on Arch. I am rocking my son to sleep. I'm for freedoms, but when can we deport leftists so my family can live well? They don't want me to live when I protect them. Well, we made it illegal to be a Nazi. I don't see why the opposite can't be true. Mercenaries anyone, I'm not growing up if I end up like Idubbbz. A wise decision. Slocks and Doppelganger, when do we start cancelling leftists, getting them fired, and otherwise ruining their lives like they did us? Well, we've started a bit, but we clearly need to keep going for a while. Charles the Beagle, off topic, but in Ireland, an 8-year-old Malika Noor Al-Khatib was murdered and her mother was stabbed in December 2024. The killer was one of Starmer's early releases and thought to be the girl's father. You're telling me that releasing a bunch of violent criminals from prison early, thereby teaching them that their consequences have no actions, might have backfired? We're learning new things every day. The early release scheme was a ridiculous one, incidentally. In Constant Media, you have to try really hard to make the guy who snaked JonTron look tolerable. Also, can we watch the new Homestar cartoon that dropped today instead? Homestar cartoon. I don't even know what that is. Google. I have no idea what this is. I have absolutely no fucking clue what this is. Sujad, in India, instead of collecting the rubbish of trains, doesn't get collected for proper disposal, they just throw it out of the train as it's moving. I saw a clip of that. I was kind of hoping it would be fake or something. God, that is retarded. Useless. Left likes to backstab friends for internet clout. Oh, it's a defining point of their movement. Sujab. Trump killed the Patronite by not renewing it, something Obama promised to do, and instead he made it more invasive. Schedule 1. Scorn and Vindaloo Curry. We shall add that as well.
Heresy's the question.
The Curry Fund has been lapsing as of late. I knew chat wasn't actually that interested in me eating curry. That would just be weird. 9. There we go. Cuban 922. My 93-year-old grandma just passed, and her story of fleeing Spain, then Cuba because of commies, made me right wing for most of my life. And seeing you guys in 2016 helped me with my hope for the present. I'm happy to hear that. A Naralius, having watched your content since old What I'm Offensive videos, then your political ones, all were fun, but your horror game ones were very funny. This time, finish the game. Also, what if any Star Sector mods? Alien Isolation. I've finished my horror games, haven't I? I feel like I have. I finished The Bunker in one sitting. I was very proud of that. I did very well. I did very well. I did exceptionally well. Far better than anyone had ever anticipated I would do. I don't think I died a single time. Arch was great at that game. I've come to the realization that I actually handle horror extraordinarily well. I'm a brave boy. Charles the Beagle, another example of government waste. The Department of Transport bought new helicopters for the Coast Guard. The catch? They have 90 kilometers less range and can't fit a stretcher in them. Oh, well. Let's hope that the Coast Guard never has to rescue anyone, I suppose. Not like that's a part of their job description or anything.
Fire is the answer.
And YouTube reloads itself, as it does, because YouTube is gay. I love how even reloading YouTube doesn't fix it. Varumior. Muhammad, while conquering Arabia on Jewish loans, Jew friend Muhammad when asked to pay those loans back. Jew very, very not friend.
I'm sure that's exactly what... no, how you doing? Right. Sorry about that.
I mean, that sounds pretty common. When the loans come due...
No comments from me.
Right, let's proceed.
Do we have that one?
I mean, like just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's
Now, the one guy, Froggy Tonic, is his editor, old editor, okay, I understand, but Denims is a bit different.
Well, what's Denim's role in this?
So I was looking at her Twitter a little bit, and Denims is very far left.
Right.
Denims is somebody who thirst posts in order to pull people leftwards. She has said that out loud.
Okay, I believe it. Yeah.
She is full-on communist, full-on Hasan Piker sympathizer.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's a bit strange, I guess, when you look around and your supposed friends are following all of the people that are, aggressively shitting on you and attacking you.
Literally encouraging the anti-Semitic harassment because you're an Israeli.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. As she
great.
too has, of course, been very much so on Hasan Piker's side and has been attacking Ethan Klein.
No kidding.
So, I mean, I see why you're confused there.
That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So,
the problem
okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know, yeah.
Which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims
Denim.
is actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah,
which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with
today.
them, then you're seeing what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are
Why
friends
would their
with
Reddit
them,
not be
but
looking
I would
out?
say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good...
See, there's a key point of misunderstanding as well. See, when I talk to people on the internet, I view them as real people.
Yeah.
I don't have this internet friend definition. If anything, I am way too naive and way too trusting with people I talk on the internet with.
Yep.
But there is this big group of people who view people on the internet as basically not real, and they don't have any moral consideration for them.
Yeah.
And it's a mindset I've never been able to wrap my head around, but it's a mindset I've seen is very, very prevalent.
I think it's the wrong mindset.
I would heartily agree. It just seems weird that you can be... I mean, it seems... God damn it. Okay, right. Let me bring up a personal example here. I thought I was friends with this one guy, Valorak, who was always super nice to me. He always super nice, always very polite. Whenever I talked to him, and yes, he was talking shit about me constantly behind my back. And at one point, he used a piece of artwork that I'd commissioned when he was being disassociating with me. And I was like, oh, hey, that's weird. I thought you didn't like me anymore. So I pointed that out. And afterwards, while saying on Twitter, like, oh yeah, no, I took it down immediately. I want nothing to do with that evil arch character. He sent me an email going, hey, buddy, we can talk this out. You can always message me, you know? Like, motherfucker.
What do you mean we can talk this out? You could just stop trashing me because you want to stay friends with the wokies.
Literally, it's so weird. They don't have a honest persona. They don't have an honest stance. They are just...
Oh, man. Sounds like too much work.
Some people are just like that. They present their outward face is like nice and pleasant to everyone, and therefore they have no actual pleasant feelings about anyone.
I'm glad I'm just too lazy to be two-faced, frankly. It sounds like a lot of work. I'd just rather be normal.
It's weird. But okay, yeah, a definition of internet friend, very well.
Person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a tricky situation.
I don't think there's any real... I know very little about Ethan Klein, but I do not think there's a moral equivalent in it. Ethan Klein strikes me as a useful idiot who made mistakes in his friend group.
Yeah.
From what little I've seen of just looking through Denim's profile for like 5 minutes, this woman looks actually unironically evil. So, I don't know about that.
Communist seems evil, more at 10.
Yeah.
Situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know. I think they're both...
And then when they're sat in front of their uncle, they double down on it.
Mm-hmm.
Of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be...
Yeah, but how fucking shallow... God, how shallow is this relationship then as well? Like, I don't actually know any of you. I don't care about any of you, but one of you's being a bit more nasty, so I'm going to side with the other one and attack you and make an hour-long video on you. Like, what the...
But also, like, some of you are actively part of the massive hate mob that's calling Ethan Klein a dirty Jew. And like Ethan Klein's like, guys, why are you friends with the guys calling us dirty Jews? And he's like, well, bro, we're all just internet friends. It's like, right.
Yeah. What do you think? We're not actually friends.
Yeah, we don't have to stop being friends with them just because they're calling you a dirty Jew, do we? You've got to be really sensitive about this anti-Semitism stuff. You know, for a Jewish person. Like, obviously he's going to be like, don't do that.
It's weird shit. Oh, chat says, Denim was one of the people that put a bounty out on Grumps, apparently.
Of course he was.
Yeah, offering to get hired killers on people is not the action of a good person. Not normally in my book, anyways.
It's just what good people do, Arch.
Sometimes good people gotta do extreme things.
Sometimes you gotta call a bounty on the World of Warcraft developer.
Yep.
Be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships.
Okay, but it's one thing saying, look, I don't like that guy. I don't want to hang out with him. You're like, okay, yeah, fair enough. You don't like that guy. You don't have to like that guy. It's another thing being part of the internet hate mob that's ruining their life.
Yeah, it's a bit more extreme there, rather than two people who don't hang out together.
Yeah, exactly. It's gone a bit further than I just don't want to hang out with that guy.
Like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking. You're either my best friend who's deep throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing
And there's the thing too, like, this again isn't some minor disagreement here. Like, your one friend is like, oh yes, please kill this person for money, and harass this other guy.
And then that's Hasan Piker.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the senator he was asking to kill.
Yes, and then on the other hand is Ethan going, that's really fucked up. How can you stand that person?
Yeah, please stop getting this person to send my wife death threats.
It's a differential here.
I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that...
Why would you not?
Yeah, no, if you really don't care about this person, you agree that what they say is horrible.
And the other person is your friend. Like, you wouldn't have to, if you know, there was an internet hate mob against Arch, and they were demanding, like, Arch, you know, everyone tell Arch to kill himself. You wouldn't have to ask me to come out in your support. I'd be like, fuck off, I've known Arch for a decade, he's a good guy, fuck yourselves.
I guess that's not how left-wing friendships work.
No. Again, why I still don't shit on Dev. No. I actually do think Dev is a good guy. I don't know why he winds everyone on the internet up. I have no idea why he feels the need to do it, but Dev is a good person, like, in his personal life.
Dev is a nice guy.
Yeah.
He has entered into a extreme state of fight and flight mode where he has chosen fight.
That is what it feels like, and I just don't see the need for it. It's, oh, Dev, fuck's sake, man. Just get on board with the winning team.
And it kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted...
Misinformation on Reddit.
It was just our ex-editor. It's not a co-host.
Completely different.
Is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck? Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say.
Yeah, right. If they were talking about, like, how he keeps parking on the wrong side of the driveway or something, yeah, okay. But they are talking about death to Israel. They are talking about, yeah, we want your homeland destroyed and we think you're part of the problem.
And also, we're talking about random people on Reddit here now, completely disassociated from all of this. How is there 40 more minutes of this?
Let's keep going.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now, but you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have
This is them being attacked right now, bro. It seems, I mean, am I wrong about this? Am I misunderstanding this? It seems that, like, Hasan's leftist crazies, as well as in this little group of, like, you know, Denims and all that, were engaging in a targeted harassment campaign against Ethan and Hila for being Jewish, right? Am I wrong about that?
Well, it sounds an awful lot like what he just said is basically, my silence means I don't want to get involved, basically.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they'll come after me, so I'm not going to be on your side. But once the attacks against you cease, I will still be there hoping that you'll name drop me.
Yeah, I'll suddenly turn up out of the woodwork. Like, what?
I would like it if I could continue to benefit from your platform. I'm not gonna help you.
Fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section.
Hang on now. You played a clip of Ethan earlier saying he responding to you dunking on him on Twitter or whatever you were doing, and him saying, I like Idubbbz, but I don't appreciate this. Right? So how blasted were you getting, really?
That was...
that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
At least say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila.
For interest, what does...
It's not a fucking pet.
What does Idubbbz do? What do you these days?
I don't know. If you've got a 7 million person channel, why don't you use it?
Pickle Goose, your body, my birth vessel, unboxing.
It's not that he doesn't get views either, so what's the need for this drama?
I don't even know what this content is, honestly.
No, and I don't really know how anyone will watch it. Like one thing that I've found, like I said, I've never watched an Idubbbz video. He's not charming, funny, or interesting in any way, shape, or form. He's got a really annoying voice, and I don't really like hearing him speak. I don't know why so many people want to willingly listen to him.
God only knows.
The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens.
But it's our friends doing it, so we're not gonna do anything.
Well, it's like, his entire point of view comes from the point of view of a person who doesn't have internet friends, who doesn't care about anybody, who would just like to be there. But the moment you speak ill of them, it's like, okay, well, now it's war because you spoke ill of me. Like, it's...
We've got a kind of comparable situation here, right? So Dev is constantly riling up, like, our right-wing members of the audience, right? I assume there may be some left-wing members of the audience. And Dev deliberately riles these people up. And I'm never go and give Dev a piece of your mind. I'm never go and harass Dev. I don't want you to harass Dev. I want Dev to fucking chill out so we can be friends again, you know? Like, and I'm happy to speak, you know, I'm not like if Dev's like, oh guys, you know, there's this big hate mob after me, I would say something.
I mean, that's what I've been doing so far. I've been telling him that he needs to get done doing his response videos so that he can dispel some of the actually blatantly false narratives going around about him.
He winds everyone up. I don't know why he does it. I don't know why he does it for attention, because, like, Dev, you make good videos. Like, you are a clear thinker, and you are very capable of transmitting your opinion in a way that is easy to listen to and easy to understand. You don't need to do this shit. Frankly, this shit's beneath you, Dev.
And I suppose, like, that's the thing, which is the non-internet friendship position is only the negative. So he only sees the fact that they're speaking ill of him, and so now he gets angry.
Yeah. Sorry, why do you expect me to intervene when my friends are harassing you?
Yeah.
We're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people.
Stop defending yourself.
Yeah, like, Hasan starts it. I watched the podcast. Like where Hasan is basically like literally the chat is going wild at Ethan, going, you know, we hate Israel and you like Israel, and Hasan's just like, yeah, I agree with them.
And the very thought of that too. Okay, people are harassing you. How dare you harass them back? Now they're gonna keep harassing you.
Yeah, don't respond to Hasan. It's like, oh right, okay.
Wait, but this is probably how Idubbbz views it, though. Like again, I think he views this
like a
as
cuckold.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Where he's sitting there thinking like, well, I would never start shit with Hasan. I know they'd harass me. Why are you doing it?
Yeah. Why don't you just cuck Ethan?
Yeah.
And again, like I did a little video just before this stream actually, talking about this on my Account Daily channel. I was like, look, I've never been a fan of Ethan Klein, but he comes out of this looking way better than the rest of you. Like Ethan looks like the adult in the room, frankly, in regards to all of these people. And it's like, you know, like I've never been a fan of Ethan, but he's not a cuck, you know.
Yes, whereas Idubbbz's argument appears to be here, yeah, I know they're harassing you, roll over and take it, because that's just the world we're in now.
Yeah, and I mean, Idubbbz literally is a cuck, so...
Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself, in terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan.
Well, yeah, no, those are bad people.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. No, fair weather friends are shit, and if you have an opportunity to get rid of them, do.
Yeah.
And Idubbbz does seem to be the very definition of that.
Well, yeah, literally. If you're in trouble, well, I'll be around when you're not in trouble.
Yep.
Thanks, Idubbbz.
Message me when you're not being attacked anymore.
Yeah, message me when Hasan's done with you.
And that is a rich thing to say. Like you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting.
But what? He's saying he's purging fair weather friends, and your comment is you have a lot of fair weather friends.
I'm insulted by that. I love the way I took that personally.
Yeah, no. And he did. He's like, wait, hold on. I'm a fair weather friend.
I'm insulted by this, Ethan. How could you complain about me being a fair weather friend?
I took that personally.
Yeah, amazing.
To suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you.
I'm a fair weather friend because...
I am a light friend.
I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
That's not working there, from what I hear about Idubbbz.
Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible.
Yeah. Okay, so the dude goes, I don't like fair weather friends. I'm going to burn the bridges. And this guy then takes that personally. Hold on. I am a fair weather friend.
Hang on, what happened to sometimes people crash out? Sometimes they're just human. We just need to be sensitive to that. Well, does that ever happen after a sustained internet hate campaign because they're Jewish?
I presume not.
Is that an appropriate time to crash out?
Also, chat, more likes or I'll crash out on you.
Yeah, chat. 574, but 2,000 people watching. Come on, chat.
Lazy
Look at that
cuckolds.
fucking thumbnail. How can you not like for that thumbnail alone?
Indeed.
This is not what
the Arch stole off Twitter.
I did, but I don't know. Fuck else was I have had the frame made. It makes it look original. It's fine.
Amazing.
There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do...
Okay, let's assume they did that. Well, first and foremost, that's unusual to do, because you would expect your friends to kind of just, do that. But let's assume they did. And they went, okay, I feel hurt that you're friends with a person who fucking hates me and is organizing a hate campaign against me.
Why do I have to say that, Idubbbz? Sorry, God.
What would Idubbbz' response be? Beyond, well, bro, I'm not that close friends with you, I guess.
Well, yeah, his response is literally, well, I'm a fair weather friend, so get used to it.
Yeah. Like, I view you as a friend light, so suck it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Tell me when you're not in trouble anymore.
Yeah. That's it. That's literally it.
The extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and...
Oh, wow.
I felt personally attacked.
I feel defensive, and I feel like
what a
I am
woman.
speaking up
Talks
for a
like
lot
a
of people
fucking
who
woman,
have
man.
problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so.
I think that's just your imagination. I think you were right on to begin with. You felt offended that you were a full fair weather friend, and you're feeling defensive about the fact that you're a bad human.
I mean, like, you're the one, like, supporting this Denims girl, right? You literally got her in the video trying to dunk on him at the beginning.
Yeah, you brought together everyone harassing him to do a dance number.
Yeah, to say we don't give a flying fuck about your feelings, Ethan. Like, what kind of fucking friend is this? Worse than a fair weather friend.
Yes, significantly worse.
Heresy's the question.
So easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
Well, Ethan, allow me to introduce you to the progressive stack. And you, Ethan.
Ethan, these are all things you should have known when you got into bed with Hasan, basically.
Yes. Look here, Ethan. Whites at the very bottom, and right above it, Jews.
Yeah, really not very far above it either, bro.
But this again is the problem. Like, Ethan was the useful idiot. He didn't understand the ideology he was getting into bed with. And now he's sitting there like, hey, I thought we were all anti-racist. No, that's a political term used to attack people.
Yeah, that's how we attack white people. Shut up, Ethan.
Yes.
And, you know, Ethan, was there someone who warned you? Was there someone somewhere who you threw under the bus? Someone who then tweeted out, Ethan, they're going to come for you. Maybe you want to tweet at Jordan Peterson and say, look, man, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Maybe he was maybe he would have been a better friend.
Yeah. Maybe he was right.
Maybe he was right.
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever, and it's.
And so I have decided to double down.
Yes. So I've decided to come out on the side of anti-Semitism. That's so funny. Like, yeah, there's only a mega war going on in Israel and Palestine, bro. Oh my god.
I am struggling to analyze this person's thought pattern.
I think that is generous to consider him having a thought pattern. He doesn't seem that bright.
Completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to.
Sorry, can we? Hasan and his audience have gone on a month-long anti-Semitic campaign to try and drive Ethan to madness. The best items can be like, well, it's not unjustified to think about that sometimes. So, fucking hell. Like, what a compassionate guy you are.
He's just followed the feels.
To us, it's like me making this video is the standing up for something.
Yeah,
my right to be a fair weather friend.
Yeah, you making this video is you siding along with the other people attacking, going like, yes, I identify with these people.
I stand with the hate mob, says Idubbbz.
Take a stand, I suppose. Yeah.
And it's saying
such a weakling.
fuck you. You guys are being bad. You know, I don't think.
Yeah. Have you tried not being Jewish?
Right. So, to summarize the position, Ethan goes to Idubbbz and goes, "Hey, you're friends with somebody who's actually attacking me. Could you not?" And he goes, "I'm sorry you feel that way, bro. But I don't like you that much." Ethan then goes, "Okay, well, fuck you." At which point Idubbbz goes, "Well, now I'm offended."
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
"I'm gonna join your enemies."
Let me get them all together and make an hour-long video dunking on you. So sorry you're bothered about anti-Semitism, bro.
Yeah,
really Jewish.
Ethan, you're looking like a bad person. I don't know if I'd be so quick to speak, Idubbbz.
Yeah, did you need to make this video, Idubbbz? What provoked making this fucking video? Did that need to happen? Because this is in response to Ethan's video about Hasan Piker literally being a terrorist sympathizer.
Yes, and we haven't even gotten to that part yet. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, like, Ethan's like, wow, I think Hasan has actually collected together a bunch of terrorist sympathizers because he's the head one, and they're calling for my, they're calling for all sorts of things against me, and for some reason Idubbbz has jumped out and gone, no.
This has been 30 minutes of a butthurt woman complaining about that their definition of friendship wasn't shared, I guess.
He's genuinely a cuckold, though, isn't he? Look at him. Like, literally and spiritually cuckolded.
And spiritual cuckold.
He is. He just sounds like a fucking cuck. Just let the hate mob have its way with you, bro.
I mean, and he
Stop
hasn't...
standing up for yourself, bro.
He clearly hasn't formulated his position here very well, because he keeps contradicting himself.
Yes.
Either he made this just because of a feeling of outraged defensiveness, or he did it because his wife told him to.
Yeah.
You're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
Okay, so attacking people you don't like on the internet is behaving poorly.
Is there anyone else who needs to hear that? Idubbbz.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and
yeah, no,
so
that's totally fair.
His analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing.
I mean, yes. I mean, you're watching events from the sideline, correct?
Yeah. And when Ethan's like, Idubbbz help me, you're like, well, I mean, I'm anti-racist, but I'm not going to go and stand with you.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
You're going to have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black.
He's okay, yeah.
He literally said it.
He literally said, "Oh yeah, no. I'm anti-racist, but I'm not on your side."
I don't want to get called an N-word lover.
Yeah, if I go over there, I might get attacked. No. You're on your own. I
Yeah.
stand with you in spirit, though.
What a brave man! What a phenomenally convicted man.
Black students and
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to Hasan just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza
Yeah.
until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total...
I was thinking about going to Gaza before I knew it was dangerous.
Is that literally something Hasan said? Because it really sounds like something Hasan would say.
Oh, that is... what a statement.
Again, you can tell that Hasan personally is a physical coward.
Total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely, harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hasan.
Like, people like Anissa are the perfect example because she's friends.
I cannot understand this cyclical thing of you're being harassed, don't harass them back because then you're the harasser.
Why are you harassing them, Ethan?
I don't understand.
With these people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our
I'll
kid
show that, yeah.
getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry, I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming, which is watching people's shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it. Why would you expect Anissa, of all people, to say something to Denims? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah.
Well, you weren't saying shit about them all the time because you were in the same team. Now, Ethan has recognized that you're not on his team, a point that you are beautifully reinforcing. So, yeah, go ahead. Shit on each other.
But also, yeah, I mean, that kind of speaks to the general dysfunction of this crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you don't seem like very great people.
Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You
Have you, though? Have you, though?
You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is claimed, they're, they're actually good people, like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the fucking...
Why would they need to be saying that? Why would that be relevant to any conversation? Idubbbz.
I have no fucking clue.
Do you think things might have gone a bit too fucking far if that's the thing that you need to talk about publicly to defend their fucking reputations?
No, wasn't it? Oh, no, I think I remember something now. Great with their kids. Yeah, no, because one of the people harassing them had called Child Protective Services on them.
Right. That's great. I'm sure that made them happy. Sorry, Sujad is sent in a super chat, and it's just fucking incredible. He says, quote, "That's how we're going to win. Not fighting what we hate, but saving what we love. Leftists as they backstab and snipe at each other." So totally true, man. So totally true. That's right. Just FYI, calling Child Protective Services on friends or people that you know on either, or anyone really, when it's just a tactic to try and harm their family is really, really bad, Idubbbz. Really, really bad. Not just for the people that you're getting at because you're some sort of low-life scum on the internet, but also for the children who aren't responsible for your feelings towards the parents. Like, it's really fucking bad. Anyone who does that should be quite easy to denounce, really.
Fairly simple. Don't call Child Protective Services on people.
And when that happens, right, and again, even a fair weather friend could come out and say, no, they're lovely with their kids. Come on, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You don't have to be a really close friend. If you've seen them around their children and you know they're good to their kids, you could just come out and say it. You just tweet it.
The prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's what...
I would have no problem saying this. I'm not going to. But it's okay.
But why would... Does he not understand how he sounds?
I don't think so, no.
In the middle of you being swarmed by a hate mob and them literally calling Child Protective Services, if I were like a friend of yours, allegedly, no, they're really good people, who'd care? What do you mean who would care? Everyone. That would be the... Oh, fucking hell, man.
Why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
Yeah, but... Okay, so he gets Child Protective Services called on him, and you're like, oh, I would never say that he's a good parent, though, because that would be weird. I don't know. Considering the context, that sounds like a good supportive thing you might tweet out.
Yeah, but didn't you hear him say, I don't give a fuck? For some reason, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yep. God, I hate people like this who don't view other people on the internet just because they're distant. It's like, oh, yeah, you're not a human. I can do whatever I want with you.
I don't even know if it's... I mean, possibly is that, but I think Idubbbz is literally just a demented cuckold. No, honestly, I think he's got no moral compass, and this is why he's turned to leftism. And he's also the world's biggest pussy.
It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's difficult and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit...
I mean...
My principles aren't defending my friends. I'm a fucking leftist.
Yes.
He told us that he was woke earlier.
My principles to shit on my friends. I'm standing up my principles right now with my hour-long attack video. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, that's literally it. I'm standing up for my principles, which is pile on the person I think looks weak in the moment. Like, Jesus.
Bullcraft there in chat for $10. With friends like these, you need enemies.
These are your fucking enemies. Jesus, Ethan, I hope you're paying attention to this, bro. This is wild.
God, but... Okay, I thought Content Cop was him critiquing content. Are we ever going to arrive at the critique of the content?
Oh, God. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm kind of enjoying watching Idubbbz totally expose himself.
Past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles.
Yeah, I don't view you as a friend or as another human being that I have basic sympathy for. I don't care that you're getting harassed.
My principle is to be a complete cuckold, a total moral coward under every circumstance, to make sure I don't come under the ire of the hate mob. Ethan, I've explained my principle to you so many times.
And don't call me out, because my principle is also to bite your head off if you do. I'm a leftist.
Yeah, it's literally to side with all the bullies, Ethan. I told you I'm woke.
Yeah. Don't you know? The definition of my entire ideology is bully.
Literally, yes.
Now we're going to talk about the BDS list.
What?
Boycott, divest. Oh, no. Befriend, discuss, social media, follow. Okay, I don't know what this is.
I'm going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan.
I mean, Frogan was literally the one who brought up the hummus joke. The woman who was banned for anti-Semitism, who said American soldiers should get PTSD, etc. Yeah, she's a pretty bad person.
She's definitely like an enemy of Israel, America, and humanity.
Yes, she genuinely seems to be a fairly terrible human being.
Yeah.
So if you are following her, I expect you to have some...
You better have a good fucking reason.
Good reasons, yes.
I mean, to be fair, I follow Hasan Piker, but for hate reasons. I don't want to miss it when he says something really fucking stupid.
This is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan. Jesus.
Just a quick thing. This really reminds me of like Ralph Retort and Andy Warski. Like this is just like internet blood sports, just on a bigger scale, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally is. And then he's naming people who also follow her. Half of which are probably following her for hate reasons, I'd imagine, at that point.
It's kind of like WE, right? Like just wrestling and stuff. That's kind of what this is like.
This is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here?
I know he follows her for hate reasons. Literally, he follows her for content.
Based Asmongold, though, man. Seriously, he's been great recently.
Absolutely.
I don't have time to watch his streams or anything, but like I see the clips of when he said something, and they're always like, "Can you believe Asmongold has said this?" And Asmongold's basically just saying something really commonsensical but very slightly right wing.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, no, that's correct. I completely support Asmongold in this.
And no, Asmon, that means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up. We're gonna want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hasan's in there. You'd think that Hasan would be on the top.
You would, wouldn't you?
I wish I could zoom in close. Is that you in lipstick?
Yeah, that is him in lipstick.
Weird.
That's his Twitter profile picture, I think.
But go on.
Top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hasan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hasan because that's what he did. You got to be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hasan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hasan on Instagram, so Hasan is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbbz feed.
It's
You do understand that they're doing this literally to content farm at that point.
You just need to know what they're saying so you can react to it.
Yes, and so you can respond to it. I don't understand what this is supposed to prove.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day.
Because Ethan's primary complaint was that people were treating him terribly and you weren't calling it out and you were calling yourself his friend.
Yeah. I mean, Ethan's position is not unreasonable at all here.
This other tier of creators that exist below Hasan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hasan. It's because Ethan
I have no idea who any of these people are, by the way.
Nope, but if they're supporting Hasan, they're shitbags and cuckolds.
Yeah, exactly. I have no respect.
There you go. Simple as.
He's a bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these.
Are we taking that seriously? Ethan doesn't have a small following himself. He's not some small guy begging for attention on the internet.
Millions of followers.
I don't.
Comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology. But he's going to keep that to himself because.
Well, yeah, but isn't that exactly the point, though? Okay, he has a political disagreement with these people, and he doesn't have a political disagreement with these other people who don't talk politics. Strange.
Weird.
The last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. I like to talk about Bill Burr, ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hasan's stream and he mocks your content nuke.
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that. And I
Okay, but you know, unironically, you probably shouldn't be. Like, okay, I don't know who this fat fucker is either.
No.
But yeah, no, you are now knowingly sitting next to a guy who supports terrorism.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you at least consider that for a moment, what that makes you?
Well, remember that for these people, there is no consequence to supporting terrorism. Right? The only consequence is people talk about them more, which is what they're after. And so it's all upshot. Like, for someone like you or I, actively supporting terrorism would get us deplatformed and probably imprisoned. For these people, it gets them money.
Absolutely, but just morally. Because again, Ethan Klein's video demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, true, I'm reaching here, but still.
What does that word mean?
Ethan Klein's video demonstrated Hasan Piker's pro-terrorism. Like it really did not leave a lot of doubt for that. And so to then go and like, I'm still cool with you, even if you're pro-terrorism, surely that must ring a couple of moral bells somewhere.
Well, the thing is, and again, remember, these people are not moral agents, as you understand a moral agent. These people are clout chasers. Anything that gives clout equals moral. They're literally like the utilitarians of streaming. Anything that gives pleasure is moral. That's the standard. Harassing Ethan Klein? Loads of clout.
I guess fucking so.
Total clout chasers. That's all they are.
I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah,
and so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
You don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just going to tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream, you're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward. It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job.
You don't get to call other people cowards, Idubbbz. You're obviously a coward. I mean, you look like Gollum. Shut the fuck up, honestly.
You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this, like, middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although, he's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think...
Is that not a reasonable objection?
Yeah, that sounds like a reason to cancel the friendship to me.
Yeah, we can still be friends. You just want to murder my wife, again, because she's Jewish. You know, I mean, like, yeah, why would Ethan Klein, again, a Jewish man, have a problem with this?
So wild, too. God.
That's so bizarre.
I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic. And he interviewed basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now.
Well, actually... No.
The irony!
It's the exact opposite. You're the one who is sucking the ball sack of the powerful because you know that, yes, this person does support terrorism. You haven't even mentioned that throughout this 36 minutes of this video. You haven't at a single point refuted the idea that Hasan Piker is an actual terrorist sympathizer, but you know he will never be affected by it.
How would you refute that point?
Ethan Klein was running his content nuke on his Twitch channel on loop. It got taken down for terrorist sympathization.
Yeah, but like, how would you disprove it? You know, if you were like, I mean, notice that Hasan isn't even denying it. He just mocked it.
Yeah,
right?
nobody's denying it.
They're not denying it. They know that they are.
Yeah, they all know he's a terrorist sympathizer. Like, this guy knows he's a terrorist sympathizer, so he simply just ignores it. Like. Ah, God.
I'm so glad I'm not part of this group, I'll tell you that.
It's just power. And to him, they go, oh, you're just chasing power. Like, dude, you are siding actively. You were dancing in the room of a man who's like, yeah, no, I interview pirates.
Yeah, literal terrorists.
Which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target.
You are weak. You are so clearly a weak fucking man, Idubbbz. You just seem insanely, profoundly weak to everyone. You stink of weakness.
And again, okay, so he's attacking people he thinks he's weak. Hasan Piker, who is probably the largest left-wing streamer in existence at the moment.
Yeah.
And Denim, who is a hot woman on the internet, who has literally declared that it is her intent and stated purpose to weaponize her thirst trap ability into radicalizing men.
Yeah.
I don't know, these sounds like pretty spicy enemies to pick if you're a coward to me, but...
Yeah, they're not, you know, soft targets.
What do I know?
Bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to, and I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit, and we're going to call you out.
So here's the...
Oh.
I love this idea that, so he's like, yeah, you know, I recognize that you've been harassed by these people for a year, but I am not going to allow you, responding to this, to bully me.
Self-defense is bullying. That's literally his position.
Yeah, literally, how dare you defend yourself?
Yeah. Mad.
This is a struggle session. Just give in.
Yeah. Don't you understand what's happening here, Ethan?
Yeah, if you admit you're a bad person, then at some point in the future we can be friends again.
Yeah, if you just give in like Idubbbz did, then all this goes away.
Yeah. Surrender, Ethan. Take it.
Be a brave man and surrender.
I feel like Idubbbz has been in one too many wrong way around gangbangs at this point.
Just watching too many men fucking subscribe to his wife's OnlyFans, I think.
The button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Cease.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Hila were like,
on a button?
Why would it cost $20,000?
we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it.
Yeah, but ironically, look how fat Ethan is there. He clearly did.
He has gotten better.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the...
It sounds like a joke. What?
Okay, but even if this is, you know, a personality quirk, it's a personality quirk.
I'm not sure I understand what the fuck this button is.
The button.
But okay.
You what? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently.
I have no fucking clue what we're talking about now.
Why would I hit a button all the time? I just talk.
You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase Goblin Mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with Goblin Mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as Goblin Mode.
I do not call myself Goblin Mode.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you did.
Goblin Mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of Goblin Mode, I would like to issue an apology.
You are Goblin Mode today. You're Goblin Mode. Look how many times you paused.
I'm trying, bro. And I don't think there's no room for using the term Goblin Mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going Goblin Mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money...
I am completely and utterly fucking lost at the moment. Do you know what Goblin Mode is?
So, Goblin Mode is him just spurging out, basically, right?
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you have a spurg out when a powerful entity is attacking you, like a hate mob.
Yeah. Yeah.
From me. If you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking Goblin Mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not Goblin Mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put
And that's why we did the L dance at you while we looked like total pricks.
Yep. Now, you were, of course, a child for what you were doing here, but let's see if I can find it again.
Yeah.
See, this is what responsible adults look like.
Listen, you fucking child. Come on, bro.
This is what the adults in the room are doing. What's wrong with you?
God.
He looks like he's having a stroke there.
I mean, he literally looks like Gollum to me. He looks sick. I think he looks unwell. Genuinely.
Worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking...
He's probably not having a good time now, no.
Yeah.
Syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way...
Just don't. Listen, your critique of her is correct. It's just, people are sensitive about women being called that word. And so...
Like, how pathetic are you? You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm not assuming his...
Oh, so chat says the button cuts the last 30 seconds.
It does what? Cuts it?
Yeah, apparently. Cuts away the last 30 seconds.
But aren't they doing it live?
Oh, fucking no. That's what chat says.
Okay.
You know what? Considering today's TOS... I would kind of like one of those buttons, too.
Wow, yeah. Why do you think we don't broadcast the podcast on fucking YouTube?
And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
No,
and I'm
no.
not yelling at you. I'm just. Kelly is a black woman, right?
Yes.
Maziel is a
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being such a buzzkill. Yeah, I didn't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POC. God.
You know, Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
Doing it.
What are you
It's so
doing?
awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I'm not finishing Wednesday.
On Friday at the movies. Is it?
You guys, like.
All right, I'm taking my hand up. What? Okay,
I mean, that was hardly
thanks,
that bad.
Button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know.
it makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like
It wasn't that bad. Jesus
It
Christ.
wasn't that bad now. I guess this is the problem of trying to present to the world a vision of perfection when it's not.
Yeah, I'm way more harsh to my stuff.
he's not a tyrant of a boss.
For doing it.
What are you
It's so
doing?
awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke. Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are like not true and he's exagerating.
People saw that. They thought that that was what you searched to
I did
pull
not
up that photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that. God forbid. Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
Like,
your
how
inability to.
No, hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
Well, you just asked how it changed
surprise
things.
them on your show.
Okay, all right.
You know, I understand that that's his role, and he's, you know, Ethan's made that his job. Or
That's not like really bad or anything.
I mean,
Is it? I mean, maybe I'm just like totally desensitized.
I mean, I want to point out, when we were having arguments on D&D, we said worse shit to each other there. On air.
It didn't seem that bad.
You know, because that's just like how you do. You speak, you vent. It's normal.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it wasn't like very abusive towards him or something.
No.
You know, and it's his, you know, he is the boss, so it's like, you know, you'd expect him to have some authority.
Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so heavily. In the same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also,
Are you sure you're just not gaslighting like mad now to try and turn his crew against him?
Are you sure you're not just a fucking woman, Idubbbz, you total cuck?
I don't think he is sure.
Well, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist.
Yeah?
What? Do they not want to talk about the conflict?
Well, I guess take your paycheck and shut up, I suppose.
People in Lebanon are like, yeah, no, I don't want the world knowing what was done to us.
Well, we don't want the world knowing that the Palestinians tried to take over our state, at least.
Yeah. What is the problem here?
It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much.
Yeah?
All right, I'm going to move on. I just want to play Hasan talking about bad empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him. Because he's putting them in this position every day, right?
Down where?
Down to the opposite side of leftism, the wrong side.
Ah, yeah, good point.
But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin.
Yeah, but they're his employees. You're acting as if he's somehow spreading chaos taint by speaking in their presence.
But also, he's acting like they don't know the fucking deal.
Heresy's the question.
They might just agree with him. They might go like, yeah, no, Hezbollah's pretty shit, actually.
I mean, like, this is Ethan's show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume they'd be like Hezbollah shit. But, like, this is Ethan's show. Like, my show is I just come on and talk for an hour or two because I'm literally Ethan Klein, the famous internet personality. Like, and he's acting like, well, I mean, they just have to sit there. It's like, what do you think they were signing up for? What do you think they were signing up for?
Goblin Mode? Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like, I'm looking at like 20 Goblin Modes to 1 too far. Demon Mode, let's call it.
What makes Demon Mode different than Goblin Mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George, like the Eye of Sauron. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me.
Okay. I mean, this could be him being an asshole, but seeing as some of his enemies are actual terrorist supporters, it could also be legitimate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
See,
I mean, don't worry, I'm more than willing to believe that Ethan Klein can be a total asshole. More than willing to believe it. It's just you're not really presenting me with any really good evidence.
Yeah.
Like the best evidence is him being a bit stressed off air, which, I mean, if he was calling him names or something, if he's like, oh, you fucking idiot, how did you fuck that up or something? You know, like I do to Samson. No, I'm joking, I obviously does. You know, if he was like screeching names at him, I was braced for like, you know, remember when like Christian Bale got fucking interrupted on the set and he was yelling at this dude, you know, and the audio picked it up and it leaked on the internet. He's like, you fucking idiot, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's really going. I was expecting something of that level, you know, but this is just Ethan not really being any different to how he is on air.
Yeah. And again, I'm not going to assume a malicious lawsuit, considering that I know Ethan's enemies just yet.
Yeah, I don't know that it's malicious.
What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power. You have a ton of options. You have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point?
Why is
like,
Idubbbz acting like he's not filthy rich?
I don't know. It's the poor 7.3 million subscriber channel being bullied by the other 10 million subscriber channel. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like, fuck off the lot of you.
I mean, honestly, this... I feel like the cockroach watching the Titans fight a little bit in that respect.
Yeah, I've been demonetized for the last 5 fucking years. Fuck yourselves. 6 years.
By the way, did you announce that publicly?
No, but I did get remonetized. That's good.
Okay, good. We should all congratulate Sargon for being remonetized, chat.
The thing is, YouTube remonetized a bunch of channels all at once. So I don't think it's anything special that I did. I think that basically some head honcho at YouTube is like, why are we demonetizing channels? We need to run adverts. And someone's like, well, we are missing out on like, you know, 1 billion views a day. And the guy was like, why are we missing out on 1 billion views a day? Just remonetize them all, because literally everything got remonetized. Loads of people I know who got demonetized just all got it back at once.
Yeah, so they probably did do exactly that. And the answer was, well, the old boss didn't like these people. Well, I don't care. I'm the new boss.
Yeah, the old boss actually has died, so fuck off.
Do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, you know, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch, and be
Pedophile. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite. There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above to make it like actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit.
Yeah.
Anything that will damage their reputation in the eyes of others based on false information.
Yep.
It's called defamation.
Yes. It's a fairly normal thing.
Well, it's been around for hundreds of years.
Now, again, if Ethan Klein is suing random people for no reason, then I condemn it. But again, I know what Ethan Klein's enemies are like, so I'm not going to assume that.
Yeah, I'm going to assume his enemies are scum. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a fan of Ethan. I don't think he's a good guy, or like, you know, particularly anyway. Like, you know, I don't think he's a good guy. I just don't think he's any worse than any of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Dan Clancy now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
You have so much less to go off of saying that
Oh
than
no,
anybody
I
has
was just saying
about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his based on his
Well, at least you're self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
One of the more notable legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Sampson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well. Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast is so fucking creepy and...
And when you say criticize Idubbbz, what do you mean by that?
I mean, let's assume the best case scenario.
Okay, let's assume. Okay, yep. Ethan's being a douchebag. Fair enough. I'm happy with to assume that too.
Weird.
Is this a new thing?
This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard. I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say. But
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
you are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Are rapists?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
Okay, yeah, because... Yeah, all right. That's... I was assuming he'd said something defamatory in a video, but I see we're going a step further. We're going a step beyond. Okay, good.
And what's interesting is, the content of most of allegations on the internet boil down to he's creepy, or he's sleazy, or I didn't like him.
No, Sampson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah.
As far as I am very glad that nobody has ever said about me, as far as I know, he's not a rapist.
I mean, I can say that. To the best of my knowledge, Arch is not a rapist.
Well, thank you.
It's just to the best of my knowledge, Arch.
I'm touched.
Who knows what will come to light tomorrow?
Sampson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now let's talk about the left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to.
Sam Cedar, just fellow progressive, bro.
Just fellow progressive.
Just not radical leftist.
Pretty normal.
Not intransigent partisan who wishes ill for all Republicans everywhere ever.
No, just... Well, actually, no,
Just
that is a regular leftist. What am I saying?
Okay, yeah. Fair point. Checkmate,
He works
got me there.
with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
He kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urged Ethan to talk.
He's a fellow Jew, bro. You know, you Jews all stick together, right?
To Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk to. I don't think that I will be able to reach him.
What's the insinuation of that?
See what I mean about this being ethnic?
Uh-huh.
Everything about this is just ethnic.
I only listen to other Jewish people. You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that like agree with me on everything. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't think that is the.
In what position are you to even say that?
If it's not motivated.
Based Ethan just totally checkmates in there. I don't care if they're Jewish. Because Hasan's like, well, yeah, but if he's Jewish, he's one of your tribe, you'll care, right? And he like that matters to you because that's how I operate. I, Hasan Piker, a Muslim, don't care about non-Muslim opinions. Or a communist, really, is Hasan's tribe. But that's literally Hasan telling you what he thinks.
Yep.
myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist
No,
Jews.
seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know
Great
what
question, Ethan.
Yeah.
Great question. I mean, we were all warning you. Well, not we, but like, lots of people were warning you about the kind of gay race communist that Hasan Piker is. And this is him literally being the apex of gay race communism. And Ethan's just like, wow, this is really shit. It's like, yeah, it is, isn't it?
fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit.
That is true. Step one of the leftist ideology is to break everything down to race, religion, and ethnicity. Correct.
It's literally to be a racial tribalist. Yeah, that's step one. If they're gay and you're gay, then you agree with them. If they're black and you're black, you agree with them. This is gay race communism. Haven't you got it yet, Ethan?
I underestimated Idubbbz. I thought he was completely politically illiterate. No. No, he's got a surprisingly good grasp on this.
Gay race communism, so fucking retarded, even Idubbbz can understand it.
Yep, to be a leftist is to be a racial ideologue. Good job.
What I love about this, though, is that Idubbbz doesn't understand that, like, they tried to keep this under their hat. You know, this is the mask off, and Idubbbz is just too much of a moron to understand that that's not how you're meant to sell this.
Yeah, no, actually. It's like he right now, Hasan Piker would be sitting there with his face in his hands going like, bro, no, that's not.
Yeah. Don't say that, because then they call us racist, because that's literally what racism is.
Yeah, I mean, he did show very helpfully a pic of Hasan Piker, just previously goes like, hey, Jew, you should talk to other Jews.
Waving Sam Cedar in his face. Jew. He's a Jew. It's like, so? He's just like, yeah, but he doesn't support Israel, so?
I mean, that's
God, that's funny. God, that's funny.
A fine definition of leftism, Idubbbz. I salute you.
Yeah, again, Idubbbz, it's so crazy. You're so too stupid to understand that you shouldn't be saying it like that.
All shape our experiences as people.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, like, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how.
But he's a Jew, Ethan!
He's a Jew!
That's so funny. I love Hasan's stupidity as well. I have a Jew here. Do you agree now?
Interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan, on occasion you might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you.
But also, that is this just the the leftist defense. Okay, so a leftist, Ethan, looks at another leftist, Hasan, and goes, you can't speak on this. I invoke the race and religion card.
Yeah.
To which Hasan is then like, shit. Okay. I'll have to find somebody against whom that card doesn't work.
In Ethan's defense, I doubt he's ever done that. That doesn't strike me as the sort of thing he would do.
Well, it's what he did in the previous clip, where he said like, okay, how can you speak on this? You don't. How can you speak for all the Jews? Like,
oh, right. Yeah,
but
sorry, I missed that.
That's the thing. Any normal person would go like, I don't need to be a Jewish. I can read of this on Wikipedia. I can read books.
Yeah.
I can watch the news.
It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender. I think Ethan understands that.
So long as you find a left-wing identity that you can connect to your own,
yeah,
you can speak.
And even then, okay, like, Ethan already knows Sam Cedar doesn't support Israel, and therefore, what's the point? Like, why? Ethan isn't looking to be persuaded out of his support for Israel.
This concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking bitch, Cam.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though.
She is a bitch. She's a fucking bitch. You're right. I call her a see you next Tuesday.
Listen, you have.
I'm curious, what do Lena and Sam think about it?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
I feel like that it's for the girlies, Ethan. But I
so
agree.
you guys all seem to be in consensus that it's in poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room, I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
The infantilization.
Making me like Ethan.
Accusation of Ethan Klein is fucking nauseating. He's not a child. He is absolutely capable of looking into Hasan, learning about his politics, interviewing, doing loads of things to figure out where he stands.
No, but he did.
He did.
That's exactly why he hates Hasan now.
That's why you're making this out. Supposedly, that's. Oh my god. Okay, see, I was under the impression that the content cop was him going to be respond to the content nuke. No, it's just been a woman whining for an hour about personal relationship, which he doesn't care about. He did do all of that research. He made an excellent takedown video. He showed that Hasan was, yes, a fucking terrorist sympathizer again. Like,
it was crystal clear, and the only response that anyone who is outside of this would say, because like I said, I watched it too, it's just like, well, Ethan, you should have known that beforehand because it's Hasan Piker.
Yes, the critique is, Ethan, you were an idiot to let the venomous viper into your bed. That was dumb.
Yeah. It's literally the snake. When Donald Trump is fucking reading that snake poem, you silly woman, you should have known I was a snake before you took me in. Well, that's what everyone said to Ethan when he's got on board with Hasan. Because Ethan has long been a kind of wet social democrat liberal, right? Everyone knows that. Ethan's not like a deeply committed leftist, and he never has been.
No, that's why he got into bed with Hasan, because he didn't understand what leftism was. He thought genuine leftism was all hugs and anti-racism and good things. And then he sits opposite Hasan.
It's being nice to each other.
Yeah, who's sitting there like, okay, so I really hate Israel. Like, hold on. Why are we starting with this?
Yeah. Because you're Jewish.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And for the first time, I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this.
Yeah, you did fall for that. Look, Linus.
Yeah, everyone warned you.
There's no such thing as a democratic socialist.
Yeah.
This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership. I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hasan? Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked. And
well, no, here's the thing. Hasan wasn't that out and out at that point. Hasan has always been boiling the frog on this, quite slowly.
Yeah.
That is the entire point. That is the ideology. As you would know, Idubbbz, if you had any fucking inkling what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but yes.
I mean, and Hasan is not that he hasn't been clever about this as well.
Yeah.
He's always like, the communist stuff has been a tip of the hat sometimes with Hasan. But like you say, over the last couple of years, it's become unbelievably blatant.
Yeah, and Ethan, too, had several moments where he was beginning to wake up. Absolutely. And again, it's because Ethan, like, Idubbbz, you're not very politically savvy. Ethan wasn't very politically savvy.
Yeah, Ethan was for good things.
Yes. And he thought that, well, Hasan is a fellow leftist and he's big like me, so we're for good things, both of us.
Leftists are for good things, aren't they?
And then the socialist did what the socialist always does in these situations. Go, hey.
Pulls out the ice pick.
I can use you.
And then stabs you in the head.
Like, literally, there are entire chapters. Like, Gramsci writes about this, how to use liberalism against itself.
Mm-hmm.
And he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until, Ethan talks about being aware of Hasan's 9/11 comments and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan.
Well, that was the thing, too. Who was he to judge? Now, yes, these were things that he should have been picking up on. Absolutely. But, unlike you, Idubbbz, he was attempting to be a friend. And so he's like, okay, that's a bit spicy, but he's making a joke. Haha.
And also, Ethan isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the box.
Yes.
Those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case,
Hold on.
Sorry, I love that we're going to give Hasan Piker maximum charitability over his America deserved 9/11 and calling him a terrorist sympathizer.
And also, I want to point out here, so America deserved 9/11 was not a joke. Idubbbz 2025.
Yeah.
How are we getting away from he's a terrorist sympathizer, Idubbbz?
Really is stacking up, isn't it? I mean, he's literally praising Bin Laden here.
Yes, Idubbbz, you are siding with the terrorist sympathizer. You are siding with the guy. Oh no, Idubbbz, this is your friend too. You did a video in his room.
You are a coward and a moron.
Oh my god. Listen, Idubbbz, this is you. This is the man. America deserved 9/11. This is the man who wasn't joking when he said that, Idubbbz. According to you.
Yeah. As far as you're concerned. Amazing.
This script was written for him by his girlfriend. I swear to fucking God.
Well, possibly.
American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hasan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are. But you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online.
Oh, come on. Anyone even vaguely familiar with any of these subjects can guess Hasan's opinions on international politics.
America bad.
Yeah.
But I haven't asked the question yet. America bad.
Yeah. Anything not America good.
You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes. If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it.
He shouldn't have. And he was tricked. In the same way that, Idubbbz, I think you're tricking yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, to stay on the in-group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently hanging out with a bunch of terrorist sympathizers who have got a really, really virulent online harassment mob that they command around against the people they know for the entertainment value, if nothing else.
And again, okay, so Ethan Klein should have known that he was a terrorist sympathizer and should not have done anything with him.
Why are you hanging out with him?
Idubbbz, are you a terrorist sympathizer?
No, I'm just a cuck, says Idubbbz. I'm just a total fucking coward. And you know what, Idubbbz? I believe you.
You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews as no single state.
Hang on. Ethan there is not saying, I am speaking for all Jews.
No.
Right? He is making a generalization about how Jews typically interpret this, whatever phrase it is, right? So, for example, I could make a statement for how, like, French people typically interpret a certain phrase or whatever it is, or like how Irish people typically interpret praise for Cromwell or something like that, right? I don't have to be Irish to do that, and I'm not representing Irish people when I say that.
Represents all Jews.
I think this is another weird thing.
Oh my God.
Israel, this is a lie that I see Hasan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. They have never, I don't believe that that's ever been stated. And I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like, I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews.
Right. Idubbbz, you just said that he disagree. He's an idiot. Because he just literally made the point that Ethan was claiming that an entity could speak for all Israelis, and here is Ethan going, Israel has never said this.
Yeah.
What the?
Israel has never said that it represents all Jews. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it's something he might have said.
Yeah, I don't even know this either. I'm just...
Yeah.
You seem to be...
I could believe it if it did, you know.
You seem to be playing a clip that's contradicting your position. I'm confused.
Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure. It sounds like America to me. Like, all right.
I don't think...
No.
What?
That Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like, he's making a semantic argument. Like, I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together, so when they're being criticized, all of a sudden they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list.
Isn't that what you're doing? I think he thinks he's making a point, but I don't think I agree.
It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Arab, top green positive, Jew, bottom red. Shahaba. Positive and fun. Positive and fun. Nothing bad about this. It's just a racial tier list.
I'm sure it is positive and fun in the Gaza Strip.
Yes, I'm sure the Palestinians thought this was hilarious.
What the fuck am I looking at, man?
God damn it. This man will actually assume any leftist position, no matter how racist. Won't he? It's... Okay.
Honestly, I think he's just thick.
Just dumb? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I really think so.
Right, let's hear him defend the lighthearted racist tier list.
Yeah, I'm all
Ethan
this.
Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you got like a white guy's like, can I say it? Is it slurs? And then Love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word among.
Yeah, it's the absolute inverse of the N-word.
Right. So, just to be clear, right, I didn't know what Sabra was, so I Googled it, right? Sabra is a Hebrew word for a prickly pear cactus, and it is understood to be a term that is used to allude to the collective nature of Israeli Jews.
Yes. It literally means Sabra Jew.
Right.
So the tier list is green, Arab, red, Jew.
Right. Yep. Okay, fine. Yep.
They're not being particularly subtle.
Amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people. Like, that is a word that's used. Habibi. It means my love. Oh, no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh, yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi. I'm your Habibi. So, yes, it's meant to be a fun way that these Arab content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it.
And it just so happens that to all of these Arabs' cultures, the bottom of the barrel is a Jew. Wow.
And I'm sure that the term Sabra doesn't have negative connotations to Arabs.
Oh, definitely not. Absolutely.
It's just a southern slave owner, right?
Yeah.
Saying, you know, I just have a word that I use for black people. That's it.
Yeah, it's a pet name.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race.
They don't have... This is a TwitchCon. This is Twitch endorsing it. This is...
They need representation, Arch.
God fucking damn.
Race. And nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew. He's Arab.
I mean, that's a bad question, to be honest.
Now, again, I don't know why you brought this up, Idubbbz, because listen, it makes your position look like fucking shit.
They're just being openly racist to Jews, man. Don't worry about it.
You're defending the racist anti-Semites again. How do you end up in this position?
But you're defending it on the grounds that this is their culture, bro.
It's just funny, bro.
Yeah, it's just their culture. Right, okay.
Thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is racist.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing.
Motherfucker, you are the most disingenuous or dumbest human I think I've ever encountered. Bright green, good. Bright red, bad. Less than ideal.
That's so good. Yeah, I don't think this is the best way of conveying information. No. Idubbbz. This is a perfect way of conveying information, right? Yes. I didn't know what Sabra was, but I knew it was bad.
Yes.
The information, I know how quickly that information is transmitted to me. It's like, yeah, red bad. So right, I just need to look at Sabra. Oh, Jew. Right, okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. No, it's a really effective way, and that's why people use them. That's why people use them. It's a really effective way of transmitting information. Like, Jesus Christ.
But Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hasan.
Cracker.
I mean, you know what my take is.
We can't put this as an F.
Yep, Ethan was an idiot trying to fit in with the extreme leftists. I agree.
And what happened? Jordan Peterson's prophecy came true. They'll turn on you. You'll get the same treatment. And what happened? He got the same fucking treatment. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to use Ethan Klein as a retard example, being like, listen, retards, you'll end up like Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what's fucking happening.
Well, again, Ethan Klein was the useful idiot. Ethan Klein was sitting on his progressive stack above whites and said, I'm going to make a white tier list. And all of the leftists clapped. And then the left is higher on the progressive stack than him.
Now we're doing the Jew one.
Yep. And suddenly Ethan looks around, goes, hold on. Have I invited the enemy into my house? Have I embraced their ideology? Yes.
It really is. It really is that.
Yes, Ethan, you were an idiot.
You fucking moron.
Cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right? Pale.
But unlike Ethan, who eventually realized that he was pressing a adder to his chest, Idubbbz is still holding the snake as it bites him.
Idubbbz is pointing the snake at you, saying, take the fucking adder.
I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog?
So Hog is my favorite. I use it all the time.
Him and Hasan feel as though they're white guys.
Yeah, no, there we go. Hog is Hasan Piker's favorite racial slur against white people. He uses it all the time. Yes, he does.
They felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
Yep, all leftists do, because we're at the bottom of their progressive stack.
They're for slurs just for the people they don't like. Idubbbz, are you a white guy?
Well,
just out of interest, I mean, you look like a white guy, right? You look like one of those little trailer park heroin addict guys, right? And it's like, so you are basically the whipped dog, right? You're like, yeah, no, they're all superior to me. They all get to racially condescend to me. They get to insult me. They get to demean me. And I'm going to be angry at Ethan Klein when he's like, hey, I actually don't want to be racially demeaned.
I think I'm more
disgusting.
white than you.
Hang on, he's Reek. He's literally Reek from Game of Thrones. That's why. That's the energy. Because he's just got such strong Reek energy, doesn't he? Like, I knew it. I was looking at it. I was like, Gollum. No, Gollum's got a will to power, man. Gollum is way more man than Idubbbz is. Idubbbz is fucking Reek from Game of Thrones, man.
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
Can you understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're the white guy. You think you're more white than Hasan.
I think I'm more white than you.
Okay, to be perfectly clear too, neither Hasan or Ethan consider themselves to be white, first and foremost.
But also, don't you see why the Arabs are so comfortable talking about racial hierarchies on their tier list as Jews are at the bottom?
Yep.
Don't you see? Like it's not just Arabs, is it?
And again, the Jew too was very comfortable with the racial hierarchy so long as he thought he was on top of it.
That's right, as long as he wasn't, or at least right at the bottom, you know? And Idubbbz, Reek, you are at the bottom, Idubbbz, and you're defending their ability to just shit on you racially from a great height.
Yep, you are looking up at their shit falling down and you're asking for more.
Yes.
And when Ethan Klein goes, hold on, I didn't sign up to be shat on, you try to pull him down.
Yes, that's exactly what you're doing right now. Get back in the bucket, crab.
Yeah, shut up and let them shit on you.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like Cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put...
Well, okay.
And they can say Sabra.
Literally, yes. You can say whatever racial slur you want about white people because we live in a leftist society. And secondly as well, because we're not as vulnerable as you, genuinely.
Yeah.
You can't come up with a good racial slur against white people because we don't care.
No.
Like, oh, you were a slave owner. Oh, don't remind me of the time I owned land and people. Please, no.
Don't remind me of our biggest mistake.
There are no good racial slurs against white people because we don't think like that. We are not as racialized
we're not
as you
the
are.
victim.
Put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they dropped the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi, and then it's like Hasan. Okay, actually he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel.
The N word is a Spanish word. It's a Spanish word. Can Spanish people say it?
That's a good question. Can they say it? Only quickly, I imagine. Otherwise, YouTube will be upset.
Estimate just how like mixed Israeli culture is. Like
we say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans.
Yeah, if you don't understand that the Arabs are all habitually racist and hate Jews, then you can't speak on this topic.
I mean, he's got a point.
Yeah, true.
Checkmate, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Idubbbz, you shouldn't be speaking on this.
And Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just going to eat it up. It's not. Ethan is just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of...
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's amazing. Ethan's just proving he deserves to be in the bottom red quadrant of Jew.
Yep.
Eat Sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra. And that sucks that that's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the US. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic,
I don't even know what the fuck this is, but it's some kind of thing they eat, I guess.
Pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes up.
And that too. My God, can you imagine? You and me, Sargon, sitting on TwitchCon, having a fucking tier list of white to black. 30-day ban.
Black, we were using an ethnic slur, not even the word black.
Yes. Hard R. You think we would get off with 30 days?
No, I'd be in trouble. I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Fucking Christ, the police would be waiting for me at the airport.
On to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody prefers Sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is
Sabra.
fluffy.
Weird.
Yeah.
He's not objecting to the hummus. He's objecting to the racial epithet. Oh my.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion,
it's at the bottom and it's in red. What are you complaining about?
Yes. We're not discussing the quality of the fucking brand of food here.
First 2 days.
For some reason, like when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. And imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never liked hummus.
Oh, okay. Well, you hate Jews then.
I don't. And Arabs.
Yeah. This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing.
You tard. The top of the tier list is Arab and the bottom happens to be a foodstuff. Are you this retarded?
Yeah, if I mean, Idubbbz is right. You absolutely can do that, just not in the middle of a conversation about racial tiers.
Yes.
When you've put one race at the bottom in red, coded with the word Sabra.
No, it's obviously a euphemism for the, as you yourself said, the N-word.
Amazing.
Sweet baby Jesus.
He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions are anti-Semitic.
This is what he did.
Yeah, they're doing it against whites.
He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture. And
Hey, Zionist, accept the fact that the Arabs are racist or else. God, we need to return to the age of imperialism.
Instead,
I'm tired of this.
That is an attack on you. There's this incident on the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella, and Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he
Are we rating? Never mind, I don't want the answer.
Rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score, a perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology. I'm the best at
10 out of 10.
I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint?
Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one is actually best
apology. So
Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my god!
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying, and, you know, we might learn a thing or two.
Oh, you little narc.
Yeah, holy shit, what the fuck?
How unbelievably pathetic is this?
What the... You... Okay, so he has a thing. Like, I was sorry for this thing. This person said, you know, he's actually sorry for this thing. And you track them down to go, hey, no, this person actually isn't a sorry. He's actually a bad guy. Hey, let me show you a still of him doing something that looks like a Nazi. So, hey, you...
Amazing.
I mean, that is some next level fucking shit right there.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score, 10. I said, hey, Lud, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
So he cut together a hit piece of what he thought was the worst moments so he could bring it to this guy and be like, hey, he's a worse human than you thought?
And because in other times and contexts he's done something I don't like, should you, on this other thing that's unrelated, mark him down? Because he takes pride in this, and I want to hurt him.
Yeah, no, literally, I will go out of my way to attempt to hurt this person.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
Idubbbz.
Total reek. Massive reek energy.
I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it with.
Okay, so the adult in the room has to explain to the child that, no, you brought up something completely unrelated. This does not affect my opinion on this other separate thing.
It's crazy that you'd bring this to me, you fucking lunatic.
How did you track me down, and why?
Yeah, why are you here?
God, what the fuck?
This is so bizarre.
Without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, bro. Oh, I don't know about that, but...
Brother, this guy stinks! Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system, so I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just...
You petty motherfucker.
God, this is so pathetic.
Oh my god.
I went to an adult and he was like, stop being a child. And I couldn't take that hint, so I decided to carry on being a child.
I couldn't accept that, so I have chosen to continue to be a child. Why did you leave this in your video? How could you possibly believe this makes you look good?
Just based on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something that's very important.
Well, I'm kind of hoping somebody will try at this point.
Very sympathetic.
Very sympathetic.
You know, can we revisit the conversation about empathy about the beginning of the fucking video? Jesus Christ, these fucking leftists.
In bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this has been a very fair video. This has been the fairest video.
This will be held up in future museums as examples of how fair videos can be made.
Yes, this is absolutely an A+ fair video. No questions about it. I can tell you went out of your way to present both sides.
was something that was not illustrated in previous content cops that I think should have been, and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human, because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
Okay. Let's see how charitable this is going to be.
Honestly, right, that's actually a fairly good way to end this. Like, this whole thing has been a cavalcade of him being a really stupid, pathetic child. But that is, I think that's actually quite a nice way to end it.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan. Hang on, right, okay. So the first two are, Ethan, you're not capable about holding up a mask from yourself from one place for another. Okay, fair enough. But the other one is, I'm glad you came over to our side from the anti-SJWs.
Yes. Yeah.
Inclined. I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best.
Shut up, Jew, and speak of other silly things. Dance for me, monkey. Don't speak about hot politics.
So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. H3 used to be the...
You had to write down a letter? Okay.
sports for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
Stop.
Sorry, what
thinking
was
the way
that?
you're That was Frogan saying, you're doing wrong, stop doing wrong, become the
but,
old person.
That wasn't what's virtuous about Ethan.
No, that was not a nice thing about Ethan, no.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was
Okay, well, at least this guy tries.
Yeah.
It's an attempt.
pretty fucked up, and fighting it, you know, he changed YouTube for the better, and I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Hila. I'm like, fuck.
Are you crying?
Yeah, for some reason I heard about this in advance. He includes a clip of himself crying about his own wife at the end of it.
Okay. It's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been.
Sometimes...
So you can understand why Ethan was doing it. Like when all of your friends were like, we hate you and we hope Israel's destroyed and we hate Hila because she's an Israeli, you can see why Ethan came to his wife's defense.
Yeah, meanwhile you're like, oh, I don't want to come to my wife's defense. She might not like it. Idubbbz,
powerful, weak energy.
Your woman is far more of a man than you can ever be. And
yeah, but everyone knows that.
It's not a good thing.
And kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up, a feeling of almost infallibility that I could take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes, and then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
Okay, so we ended in saying something nice about Ethan, which only one guy actually managed to do. And then we ended with Ethan going, oh yeah, no, I did terrible things and I'm in a bad place.
Notice how the rest of them just made statements about themselves.
Yes.
I used to really like your content.
Yeah, I want you to return to making pro-leftist content.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just about themselves. Amazing.
Okay.
I'm so glad these aren't people I like.
We somehow managed to get through an hour of one of the least structured videos I think I've ever fucking seen.
I actually quite enjoyed how kind of dumb these people were.
I mean, no, he is actually legitimately stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he makes a point, and then he shows a clip proving the opposite of the point he just made, and then he stares at the camera like, haha.
You know, I like I said at the beginning, I'm not a fan of Ethan Klein, right? And I'm not. But I like Ethan a lot more now that they've tried to make him look bad.
Yeah, this 1 hour takedown video has made me significantly more sympathetic to a person that I find personally repulsive.
Yeah, like, I was never a fan of Ethan at all. Like Lou Levi used to love Ethan, right? And he made videos like, Ethan, wind your fucking neck in. Your ego's getting out of control. But I was never a fan of Ethan Klein. But this has made me like him a lot more because, like, I can see why he was kind of angry, and clearly the people, when he's in a funny, jokey mood, the people like him, the people around him like him, obviously entertains them. So, like, what's the, like, they've just made Ethan look more relatable.
Yes. The only points that sort of landed was basically, yeah, Ethan has been an asshole as well, and I'm going to be an even bigger asshole to him now for the next hour. I don't know why this video was made. I suppose an attempt to restart the channel, I guess? And, I mean, it has done significantly better than anything else he's done.
4 weeks ago, he was getting 500,000 views.
Yeah, but this is 3.2. Like, it's...
Sure, but, like, 500,000 views, you can afford to live.
Oh, yeah. And 2 months, I mean, it's not great numbers considering his size, but it's something.
But that's just an announcement video that Creator Clash is back, right? Okay, yeah, sure. You get all the information you need in the title. Scroll down a bit. So you've got other ones there, 800,000, 700,000, 600,000, 400,000, 600,000, 400,000. He's got an audience.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a big audience.
Again, like, the entire point too, like the thumbnail, busted, content cop. I expected him to be They even started with Hasan Piker saying, I've finally decided to respond to your video, which I guess he has still never done.
Yeah, like, this is Idubbbz basically jumping on the grenade to save Hasan.
Yeah, and to be like, okay, I won't respond to it either.
Yeah, but it's true Reek style. I will run to my master who has chopped off my balls and has me sufficiently whipped to defend him from you, his enemy.
Yes. I will not go do a good job of it. I will make myself look like a complete and unironic idiot in the process, but I understand, Master, that you can't respond to this.
Amazing.
Well, that was something. Right. That was something. And yes, Eccentric Ripper, I'm glad you were happy for your birthday present. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Right, I do have to go to bed, I'm afraid, because it's 11 o'clock. I've got things to do tomorrow. So I'm going to have to leave, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'll go through the super chats then to wrap up.
Sorry to leave you on your own with them. But this went on for longer than I expected.
You thought we'd get through an hour video in 2 hours, did you?
I didn't realize we'd do the whole thing. But it was kind of like a fascinating study in, like, low IQ internet expression.
Yeah, I was sitting there waiting the whole time for him to arrive at the point, but he never did.
Yeah, this whole thing could have been about 15 minutes. Anyway, nice to see you, folks. Thank you for joining us. I've left a link to this on the video I put up before the podcast started. So if you've come here from there, leave a comment and let me know. Take it easy, chaps.
See ya. All right, chat. It's just you and me. It's only the two of us now, alone, in a dark room. Well, actually, it's a pretty well lit room, honestly. I got lights in the ceiling and everything, so don't worry too much about it. Rumlegs 623. This video was worse because Ian and Ethan have been good friends in the past, and Ian made this video in response to Ethan calling him spineless for not defending him against a false CPS claim? Oh, Child Protective Services. Okay, right. Were they, though? Were they good friends in the past? Sinestro Corman, a random fun fact. Wallabies are an invasive species in the UK. We should kill them. Mercenary 21, Sargon, you will like the degeneracy, young man. But must we, though? This new gold standard, the hijab has a star, only a B-52 pilot could love. Hijabi? Lumi loves feet. Hail Arch. Greetings, Sargon. I've been watching your content since before Anita called you names for sitting in on her VidCon panel. Congratulations on 500k. If I may ask a favor, could you simply say my screen name? LumiCast. I will try to sneak that in there. Lumi loves feet. I will try to get him to say that, just for you. I will make an effort to do that, just for you, sir. You may need to remind me of it, but I will try. Mercenary 71, premium is not worth it. Just get Brave already. I know, but I'm using Brave for other things now, because I'm filling it with things that need ads. Damn it. Barkham's Bowels, the Toothless. Sargon, why is it so difficult for the left to find a single martyr that isn't horrifically flawed to the point that it destroys their movement? MA's 13 dude was a massive trap for Democrats. And for Dev, I'm sure. JD is new gold standard. For possible context, Ian's wife is half Lebanese. Ah. And she's not upset at Hamas, I take it. Nightbringer 325. What kind of donation to get the Primarch Magnus video finally? Considering that's going to take me like 60 hours to research, what, we're charging $1,000 an hour? Yeah. I can't do those no more. They're so fucking big. Do you have any idea? I'd have to reread half the Horror's Heresy. It would take me fucking months. God. Jacob Lowe, Hasan is an English meatball. We could love that. Wait, English meatball squishy? David the Red, I want the huge MAGA hat. Good advertisement video. Brandman, hail from Canada land. Arthur Sargon, looking forward to hopefully voting the damn liberals out of power here. We'll see about that. I think Dev has already cemented the pro-Trudeau position. Cameron Latte gifted 5 ArchCast memberships. Thank you very much, sir. Frog Jupiter, Sargon, have you read the Manosphere? Influence on youth is no new phenomenon yet. It's the one where the left crowned us the kings of the Manosphere. Well, are we not? We are. Dean Domino, my thoughts on this video and all these people, a certain Norm MacDonald clip. Now this may strike some viewers as harsh, but Idubbbz is an actual cuck. Hexy, bro, just let us make a Muslim caliphate, bro, please. Brian Alleman, I will never forgive Idubbbz and Hasan for making me sympathize to Ethan freaking Klein. I know. Okay. You know how sometimes you see people and you automatically dislike them? You know, your brain just goes like, I don't like you. And you have no cognizant effect on this. It's just a natural reaction. I'm like that to Ethan. His appearance, his voice, his demeanor, all of it disturbs me in a highly negative way. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, because I know some people have that same reaction to me as well. It's just a thing the human brain does, but he does that to me. He does that to me hard. Frog Jupiter, you could easily make an anti-juice argument for the state of Illinois. Simply call it a juice containment zone for juice shenanigans. Juice is a code word for something that I'm not aware of. Father Jack the Enlightened, cuckoldry will make you look like a zombie, like Idubbbz. Mystery of Dinosaurs, shouldn't Idubbbz be working on Creator Class 3? The last one went so well. I have no idea what that is. Brita Bruiser. The Jordan Peterson quote should be on screen at all times when someone talks about H3 and his previous friend group. Actually prophetic words that Ethan tried to laugh and meme away. Little did he know. Oh yeah, no, he called that one. He called that one so well. Misery Nobis. Sam Hyde is right about Idubbbz's girlfriend. I don't know what he said about him, but I'm sure it's true. Father Jack the Enlightened. Remember how Sam Hyde challenged Hasan to a boxing and Hasan was a bitch about it? Pepperidge Farm remembers. To be fair, Sam Hyde does look a little bit psycho. I think Sam Hyde, if hit, would have the exact same reaction as I when hit, which is basically to see red. I wouldn't want to fight Sam Hyde either. I'll be entirely honest. I would not wish to do this. There's next in one. I hot harder the Hasan. I do Shaolin Kempo. I hot harder. Frog Jupiter. Sargon, you know any ways to convince you to box Vorsh or another bread tuber? It'd be really fun to watch and I'd pay. I would bet on Sargon versus Vorsh. I would not have a problem with that. I would happily bet on Sargon over Vorsh. Steel Manning, Carl, for your insanity, could you game out what it would be like if William seized power and re-established the monarchy to save England? I don't know about that. I don't think the English people are fond enough of their monarchs. Most next in one, Hasan should be pivoting on the ball of his feet. You should pivot, because you want to put as much of your body into a strike as humanly possible. Same for kicks. Tartine, Arch, there is also a fourth reaction where they start having laughing and having fun. Marshall Yadling, Hasan has a big only child energy with those strikes. My 16-year-old brother hits me harder than that when I was 6. There you go. Syntax. Mr. J, greetings, Carl. Hope you're doing good. Arch, here is a few coins to your food fund curry. Things look like semi-liquid shit on rice. I agree. It looks like semi-liquid shit on rice. And we just hit $2,700 for it, which we're going to be 4 months left once April is out. 4 months to raise the remaining half. I do not believe chat will do it. I think chat is weak. Lucky McTrollface, why not turn the graveyard of empires to the trash can of empire? Deportations to Afghanistan. It's an appealing idea, sir. Squatch Hammer, look up Palestinians saluting Israel Olympic soccer team at Paris 2024 Olympics. I don't know about that. I think the salute was probably a Nazi one. Smudgy, Idubbbz reminds me of Ewan McGregor in Trainspotting. I haven't seen that. Daniel Bauer, seeing Hasan try to do Muay Thai kickboxing, is frankly embarrassing to watch, as someone who regularly practices the art mostly for fun. Muay Thai is scary, man. Muay Thai is genuinely designed to hurt somebody. Like, I talk about Taekwondo, and I'm fairly proud of that, because I did that for a while. Like, I got fairly high up in the grade. I was like, I think 3 steps away from a black belt, which is pretty good. I got pretty decent at that stuff, but it is a pure sport. It is not for fighting. Taekwondo is not for fighting. It is a competition martial art purely. Muay Thai, very different kettle of fish. Primarch, it's wild if the left won't shut up about Israel-Palestine, but there's literally a conflict 5 times worse going on in Sudan. But it's crickets for them. Well, it's black people, isn't it? Horus Lupical, are you ready for Ian to content cop you, Sargon? Oh god, that would be amazing. Horus Lupical, I want Metacore versus Idubbbz. That would be pretty bad too, yeah. Child the Beagle, fun pro-natalist fact. Good. For a moment there, I read fun pro-futa fact, and I was a bit freaked out. When your wife was pregnant with your daughter, for the last month or 2, she also carried your grandchildren. This is because women are born with all eggs they'll have to be fertilized. That is a cute fact. RS, it's been a minute since I caught you guys live. What's Sargon's think of the new War Sales DLC for Bannerlord? He's very excited for it. We talked about that, I think, last time. He's a little bit skeptical because he thinks it's going to be less than they promise. And, probably. But we're both going to get it. He's not as excited as me, though. And having a small island off the continent you can raid from seems exciting. It does. I like it. I'm going to play it. Empty Veins. Don't really care about this drama between leftists. I was hoping you were going to go over the whole random dude versus female bodybuilders. We will next week. This just seemed more pertinent. Dragon Joe, fun fact, the founder of the Muslim Brotherhood was a big fan of Hitler, and had not Nat Socks train the Brotherhood, that later became the ruling organization in Palestine. It's interesting is all. Oh yeah, no. Mein Kampf remains a bestseller in Arab countries. So Jard, I was raised Muslim, but left when I was a teenager. I can tell without a shadow of a doubt, mankind would be immensely improved by glassing the Middle East. Who disagrees? Warboss Doom. When you say the Arab nations are bad at war, I would like to point out another example. During the 6-day war, several Arab nations attacked Israel. All of them got decimated due to them lying to each other. Yep. The Yom Kippur War and the 6-day war and the war in 1948, which I don't remember the name for. They made a war 3 times, and each time Israel has won. Convincingly so. Jerry Sickman, pressing the like button and dropping a bill from my... hello, YouTube, my greedy purse. Dean Domino, did I read that one? Why did I mark it? Sorry, but I gotta disagree. You guys should ask Aiden Uzlu how it feels to get full brunt of Dev's kind heart. You don't want to ask me about how I feel about Uzlu. I am not a fan of Uzlu. I strongly dislike Uzlu. I have always strongly disliked Uzlu, but I'm the kind of person who can coexist with people I strongly dislike and more or less not let it show. More or less. Danny Boy, hard to feel sympathy for Ethan. He's a snake too. It's true. But hey, if 2 snakes are fighting, I'd like to bet on the snake that is the least snaky, I guess. Logan Bergman, all I want is pre-French Revolution society. Sadly, it's somewhat outdated. Commander Rosarius, with friends like these, you need enemies. Enemies would treat you better. True. Frog Jupiter, I had to stop watching leftists so I didn't get further radicalized to the Augusto Pinochet position. Lightbringer Review Fund. That's where the Lightbringer one has kind of died off, which I'm also kind of happy about, because there was a lot of issues of that. I did also put the target nice and high to discourage pursuit, a choice I am now relishing. RobLike623, the button cuts the previous 30 seconds of content. They stream with a delay, so the button just cuts out that extra time to help prevent too spicy moments from being broadcast. Okay. You know what? I would like a button like that. I need to not watch my speech so much in that case. I could say some shit and then go like, nope, TOS, slap. Hasn't enjoyed it. Remember when H3 backstabbed Jordan Peterson and Peterson responded, "Your woke friends will eat you too." We do remember. Waterkify. But Sargon doesn't demonetize channels, at least occasionally gets ad. Just a channel doesn't get a cut. I don't know. I think V has talked about that, but I'm not sure about it. Skribishki Brinsky Krashkin Person. Frogan baked a 9/11 cake. Also a cake on Twitch. No bad. DRT is King Reek in the Song of Ice and Fire books, able to reclaim his humanity and become Theon Greyjoy again. But the TV show has a less of allow and lower return to being a man. Boog, si puedo decir negro. I hope I can get away with that. We'll find out. Barbarian Aras, I have not endured Hasan on the far left for nearly 10 years to lose to a blood clot. Think of all the suffering they have not even tasted yet shall keep me alive. Besides, Hasan dresses like a girl, literally. He kind of does. He wears too many rings for any good man. WTF 1A. How is my favorite PNG VTuber Sargon? Tired and asleep right now. Barbarian Nurse, stop acting like a child while I act worse than a child. Talk about do as I say, not as I do. Adam Warlock, why don't Israel and Palestine just stop fighting? I'm positive they can just live in the same city. Yeah, it would be that easy. It would be so simple. They should just agree to share the land they've fought over for the last 10,000 years. How difficult could it be? Nope, only solution is that one needs to wipe out the other down there. It's only one. Next one. Shaolin Campo is nickname. Overkill in the sport. Overkill the sport. And Rumble and Streamlabs. Blaystone, last donor for a while because of cost of living, but will still watch. Real, last week, Puritanism is the death of reason, decency, and morality, regardless of the type. We must not become Puritans, or we will lose just like the left did. Curry Fund. Yes. We must not allow ourselves to be subdued by extremism. This is not the way. It is not the way. It is not the way. So to final tell, both Ethan Klein and Idubbbz are terrible people who deserve to lie in the den of snakes they chose. But as much as I don't like the chosen country, Ethan is the better person in the drama. Sandoom for 30, thank you. Seeing these degenerates makes me think of them trying to be cool and edgy, yet come off as losers. The only person that could pull off being a punk but cool was Johnny Rotten. Johnny stuck by his principles. Skaven to rip. So if I want to wait, how is Sargon saving face bad art? You regular save face for Trish, who deserves to get thrown straight under the bus. He doesn't though. He's a good little boy, a good little fat ball. He's a good little sputzer. It's spetzer. I know a curse word for Italian people, which I'm trying. Wait, it's Jewish, isn't it? Sputzer, spetzer, spatzer, schwarzer. I'm not sure now. Is Dev a good little schwarzer? I'm not sure. I think I remember that word from somewhere, but I can't remember where. Anyways. Certified order. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Sargon, from the Londonistan Caliphate. How is it in Londonistan? Because internationally, it sounds like you're ending up like India with all the trash around. He had to go to London today, actually, and he returned saying, like, my God, Arch, I don't understand how anyone lives there. Mercenary 10, petty disagreement over Magic the Gathering rules has happened to mygroup.it. Was bad and dumb. Got so bad everyone almost threw first. D&D campaign really reminded me of that moment. Yeah. Too many devs on the team. We shall purge them from the next one. So if I went to Idubbbz and his wife run a podcast called She Ruined My Career. Really? That's just an Ian humiliation ritual. It's just boring and painful and not worth watching. That can't be real. That can't be true. That cannot be true. Hold on. This better not get me some kind of cuckolding porn. Holy shit. It is actually real. There is actually a podcast called She Ruined My Career. We learned many new things today. God, that woman had best fuck like her pussy is on fire. I swear to God. She had better be the best lay imaginable for this. Listen, I'm into psycho bitches, okay? I have a long and storied career of being into actively harmful women, all right? I am proud of this fact. I am proud of the fact that I have handled more than one woman with a sharp instrument. However, this is a bit too much. This is where I would probably have to draw the line. This is probably where I'd have to look at them and go, sorry, no amount of mental abuse is worth this. God damn it. Zerafaiwater, also, Trish is a Clout and Troon chasing goblin. Well, he is. Oh, Troon. I don't know about Clout, but Troon chasing, yes. Who deep throws and gargles the boot of the state. He does do that too. And the trucker video is in the defense of the state. Has he made it yet? I'm still waiting for that. It was supposed to come out weeks ago. Marksman, 117 for 35. Thank you, sir. Damn your frozen cuisine, Arch. They posted a victory video to celebrate Show Sargon Democratic Penguin Republic Victory Day. For real, though, we need a break from this leftist cringe. Put this towards My Little Dictator Fund or more War Tales. My Little Dictator. My Little Dictator. Oh, it's Chibi Hitler. Oh, that's kind of adorable. That is kind of adorable. I like that. Also, chat is certainly judgmental of my taste in women. Come on, chat. You know this. You know this. This is not news to you. And you are aware that it is the superior taste in women as well. Look deep within you, chat, and you too will understand that it is normal, natural, and indeed desirable to want to be with a woman who actively wishes to cause you bodily harm. Not psychological, mind you. Bodily harm. That's the important aspect of this. Mercenaries 21, Shaolin Kempo is nickname Overkill in the sport. Did I read that? I think I read that, but now I'm confused. Solon the Lich, is Taekwondo where Arch acquired his love for feet. We were barefoot during all of that. I do remember that. We did train barefoot in a gymnasium that was filled with other people who used shoes, which meant that we were done, our feet were always covered in random shit. It was kind of unfortunate. I kind of didn't like it, but that happened. I believe there actually exists pictures, chat, of barefoot Arch out there. That exists. There exists pictures of barefoot Arch. I know Lumi would reward you if you managed to find any, but I'm pretty sure you will never be able to, so it's fine. And Zero Firewater, all the way at the end there. No, he did not make the Trucker video or the hate response video. I just didn't have enough room to say we all know. Everyone knows that will happen. Listen, he'll make it eventually. Eventually. He'll get parasocial and desire to be around friends again, and the only one will have him is the ArchCast, so he must make them so that he will be allowed back on again. I am holding this over his head to make him be a better human being, because that is what friends do. That is what Arch does to his little favorite Schwarzer. Which is not a term I should be using too often. And now, chat. Thank you. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for your very generous donations, as always. And I shall see you all again tomorrow, probably, as we will be playing the mod for Coffin of Andy and Lele. Coffin of Andy and Renee, which will be filled with mother-son incest. I hope you're happy, chat, because that request was literally funded in a single stream. I think in damn near a single donation. So, you really wanted this. You sick, twisted little puppies. Good night, chat.